Boys, this is it. This is post Adepticon. This is back in our dungeons of degenerate neck bearding, as you see behind us. We have survived the plane flights. We have survived the rough Midway International Airport. We are home. And guess what? It was a doozy. So my name is Rob, and I'm your host today for Three Heroes One Chaff. And before we get started, I really need you guys to click the like and subscribe button. Be a hero, not a chaff, please. Thumbs it up. Tell your mom, your grandma, promote it out there. Make us feel good. We're not doing this for money. We're probably demonetized the minute I start talking, but I really want you guys to listen because we got some fun stuff today. We had a great turnout at Adepticon, and we're here to recant some of our favorite moments. And then later, we're going to dive into the art of Warcry and tell you about our list building and how we handled our mission packs and stuff. So you guys can get some good ideas, rip them straight from our brains right to yours. My name's Rob. Next to me,
you got Peter.
What's up? I'm Mike.
Kyle.
And here we are, boys. Here we are. I've been burning and stoking all week for this.
Yeah,
So guess what? We're going to start right off right now tonight. And we're not going to do a little hobby time or family check-in, none of that. We're just going to talk about our straight favorite moment. And I'm going to give it to Peter off the bat because I'm going to be a diva and have like 3 favorite moments. So I'm going to save myself to wheel back best for last. So Peter, you can go.
So when you say favorite moments, we talking about just the event in general or game? Like, is there certain parts of the game that kind of stood out?
Lay it on me. What do you want?
Anything.
Give me both. I don't
for
care.
What was your favorite, Pete?
Oh my. I mean, honestly, the best part, right, is just getting together with all you fine gentlemen at this fine tournament.
First time, all 4.
Yeah,
First time.
First time all 4 of us were together, and it was so good. Every moment of it.
Even when
Mike
was
murdering, it was wonderful. So yeah, I mean, obviously that was the best part. Getting to see people, like, obviously haven't seen a lot of those guys. Dogs of Warcry group. I haven't seen Dan in a while, so it's just being able to see some of those faces you haven't seen in a while. It was just really, really good. As far as favorite moments, I enjoyed all 4 of the guys that I played against, which was excellent. That's always what you're hoping for too, right? But I think Rob and I's chess match in round 3 was actually really, really good. There was a lot of like moments there where we were just playing off of each other, and you really didn't know where it was going. And I mean, it's always a knife fight between me and Rob, and it just continued to trend. So
2 tournaments in a row now, right? Because he did it at the Nova. 3 in a row. He played each other.
No. I'm sorry. 4 in a row. It was 2 from the Red Seals, 1 from Nova, and now 1 from Adepticon.
Yeah,
mortal enemies on the team right here.
Right. Well, it's funny.
Team kills.
This is the 4th time Rob and I have faced each other in round 3 on
a kill mission.
Yeah. So we're just keep it rolling there, right? But no, it was really, really good. I don't know if I have an exact moment per se. It was such a great week in general. It was just positive vibes there. But Mike, what about you, man?
Yeah, same, man. Just seeing all of the people that you talk to online or people that you know are going to be there that you don't get to talk to for like a year, right? You're like, oh, I remember you from last year. It's so good seeing, all the people that you just know you're going to enjoy time with. They got a ton of really great folks that, don't get to spend nearly as much time as I would like to. So I would include all of you guys in that too. It was fun. Yeah, fun getting to see your faces in real life. It turns out you're not just little. I knew Pete had the rest of his body, but I'd never seen anything else from the rest of you guys. So it was nice to prove that it existed.
Was this real?
You're not friends until you see each other's legs. Like
Mike's been begging me for feet pictures. I never understood why until now.
once you see legs, it's like you're all set. Go,
man. There's nothing like it. Nothing like seeing your pal's legs. That's what we got tattooed together at Thursday night. So hanging out with the crew was always a blast. Honestly, just the event was more than I had ever hoped for. I came in with pretty high expectations for fun. I don't know if you didn't hear, we got some pictures, but I dressed up. I had a little Taylor Swift moment and put a costume on for everybody. Had a blast with my warband again. We'll look at those in a little bit. I don't want to throw it all out there up front, but yeah, I was just stoked. I played some of my best games that I've played in ages. I don't get super sweaty all the time, and yeah, legit put the pedal to the metal and felt like I had some of the best plays that I've had in a really long time. And then I'll throw it out there now. It's fun. I go there to have fun, and I think naturally it rubs off, which is super exciting. But I got my second straight year of what is it? The favorite of the realms, favorite person to play against, which was kind of neat. Got this little Adepticon medal that was kind of cool. They're heavy too. They're super neat. So yeah, it was just an honor to have people enjoy, like, spending. I'm there to have fun. Having other people have fun while they're playing me is my whole goal. So it was an honor to feel that, and have people appreciate my warband as well. Makes me so happy to bring other people joy. So mission accomplished there. But I lost my voice, so I can already feel it going now too. So I'll slowly start fading out, which is great because it means I'll stop talking. So swing it over to Kyle real quick.
Yeah, I got a couple favorite moments. Like, it's my first time going to Adepticon, right? First time meeting you guys. But if I had to say my favorite moment, like, I got into Warhammer, get off the computer, start painting, start like doing something tangible with my hands. So, to learn, I went on YouTube and checked out all these artists and stuff like that. And one of the guys I learned the most from is Marco Frassoni. Watched a lot of his videos, followed a Skaven video. To use his techniques in my painting for both my Golden Demon and my warbands. And I got to meet him in person and talk to him for like 10, 15 minutes. He was excited to flick through my phone, show all like the models I had painted. He actually checked out the doors I had painted. So like, be able to get that just like kind of fun like fan moment of like, oh my God, I probably listened to this guy for hours just talking about painting, and to him to actually look at my models and be like, yeah, this is good. You can do that. Like that was just a huge
You
moment.
got to see his legs. Right?
I got to see his legs. He's a real person. And even like he took a Golden Demon while he was there, right? So it was just really cool to meet him.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings was sick as heck, dude.
So yeah, if Marco actually watches this, hi again. Thanks, made my weekend.
Like your legs.
Aside from that, right? I would say like the second favorite moments to me was just like all those small moments, meeting all the other people from the Discord, getting to meet a bunch of the other like Warcry content creators that when I started getting into competitive Warcry, I watched their videos, right? So being able to meet them in person, talk to them, pick their brains a little bit was just kind of like a really cool, like, I don't know if I've made it moment, but at least I'm going somewhere, right? So I'd have to say those are my favorite moments for sure.
Nice.
Rob, all you?
Yeah, hold on.
All right, so
let's give everybody a second. Go grab a drink, grab something. It's gonna, it's gonna be a little bit here. Get comfortable.
Pause it. Go do what you got to do real quick, because if
take
you
a good look at Peter, because you're not going to hear him or see it.
Yeah, Pete's done. He showed up for his obligatory 3 minutes, right?
I got a pillow ready, so.
I mean, yeah, dude, I'm gonna lure you to bed in the calm way. Listen, other than like the meeting up of everybody and like the coming together of like all 4 jerseys was sick. The ability to just meet Salty, to meet Martin, which Cage Psycho, like TTS guys, just saying hi to everybody, putting names to everything, throwing dice, just having a good time in a good hall, like in a good convention center. That was great. But I think like two really special moments to me that really just like jet set that's just gonna last forever is just us as a team doing super well is something that's like I have one dude yelling about pizzas. I have another guy stressing out about Spooky Boys. I have my Gabo friend fighting me on the 3rd round again. And it just felt awesome, dude. It just felt like everything just clicked and fell right into place for me. And it made me so stoked and grateful for us, especially as a team, to go like, what was it, 13-2-1? And the only people we lost to were each other. Like, I couldn't be more proud of us. We're our own demises. I'm gonna forever face Peter in the 3rd round on a kill mission. So please, TOs, remove the kill mission from the 3rd round, put it in the 2nd or the last. I'll be okay with that. But it's fun, man. I mean, that was it. And we're gonna see a picture of it later, but I had my first Chicago style hot dog. I'm gonna tell you about that. That was a tour de force for my taste buds, right?
There was a lot of
especially the whole.
It could have fallen flat, right?
That was right. Right.
Oof.
If that fell flat, I would have been like, Illinois has got no worth value to it. Like this place sucks. No, but it does not. Yeah, tournament's canceled. Canceled Adepticon. The hot dogs are bad. It was just like a day of like being at the airport from 11:30 and not like getting picked up till 10 p.m. at night. Like delays,
right?
Unavoidable delays.
Nothing that could have gotten you picked up earlier for sure.
I watched someone. Yeah, nobody showed up on time. So watching some dude lick a kiosk in there and then wonder where I am at. Like it was. This hot dog really saved everything and set the tone. I was like, I ate the hot dog, and the first thing I was like, well, shit, that was good. And like it was so worth it, dude. Like even better than like
we're no longer about Warcry. This is now a food review.
This is now a hot dog review of how many dogs can you suck down. Like it's great. It's great. But that was it, man.
Like phrasing with the one dog though.
just deep dish pizza overrated. I'm sorry. Come to New Jersey, New York, and have some of ours.
You can't compare to New York pizza. It's the best.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They put the sauce on top of the cheese like barbarians.
It's a lasagna. It's a lasagna.
Somebody left the barn door open and let all these animals make pizza, and I'm not a fan of it. But it was good though. Actually, it was really good. And then I watched somebody put about. You guys weren't at the table where somebody was putting salt on pizza, and it might have been my favorite thing I've ever seen.
I was there. I was right next to you, dude.
You were there. Those two were. They were
touching knees with you.
Yeah, we
were knee to knee. They let us sit next to each other in public. Nah, dude.
Salt Daddy, Chris, Dr.
Salt
Jack,
Daddy, shout out to Salt Daddy, bro.
Get that man some salt. By the way, happy birthday! I think his birthday's today. Happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday! 20 years young. He's got the blood pressure of God knows if that blood's even pumping in there from the amount of salt that I saw that man ingest. But he was a hero, not a chaff. And that guy might have been one of my favorite people I met too. He was a great dude. But nah, dude, team success and just having fun, dude, while doing it. And just, I think Pete and I were locked in. They shout out to us 30 minutes left, and Pete and I are still in the middle of round 2, and we just look at each other and we're like, uh-oh. And then I turn to my right, and I just hear, have a pizza, kid, have a pizza. And I'm like, there was nothing I can do at that point but laugh and just like, I'm like, this is it. This is we've peaked right now. This is peaking. But yeah, man, that was me. It was a great time. Chicago rocked, Illinois rocked, except your pizza. Everything else was great though. Everything else was fantastic.
So let's see it. Let's put up those pictures, Mike. Let's share some of those moments.
Scrapbook.
I want to see this hot dog.
That hot dog is a beast, bro. She is exotic and dangerous, loyal. Whoa, who are those guys?
I gotta start the slideshow, Mike.
Yeah.
Technical issues. Hold on.
Ooh.
No notes. We really prepped for this.
Oh.
For anybody just listening, we're not doing a good job here.
You're not listening. You're watching. You got to see it. How do I get rid of the notes? What do I got to click?
I think you're in presenter mode. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
You should have just uploaded this to the channel before.
You know what? Guess what? We're getting notes. We're getting notes, boys.
Put them on, baby. No notes. That's all you need to know. Good. There's no notes needed.
That sounds good.
Oh,
what about
man.
display settings?
So this was oh yeah, good call. Let's see.
Taking you down.
There we go.
Nope.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you guys like 3/4 of the picture.
People
this is why I'm the big boss at work, because I know how to do work PowerPoint. So for those watching, PowerPoint skills.
Man, I wish you'd done this instead of me, dude. This
This
was right after the competitive event. This was as we wrapped up, and we just wanted to grab a little team photo. Look at those boys, smiley fellas.
You can't tell, but each one of those backs are pure glazed and sweat. Everybody here was wet.
Ooh-wee. Tell you what. Also, I guess it's probably time to share a little bit. Well, the green that I'm wearing is going to become relevant shortly. We'll see in a minute.
Let's see it.
Yeah. This was we had another Bud with us. This is Martin. This was Cage Cycle. We hung out with
Yes.
him on
Dude
the
was
weekend.
good people, man. What a
Mhm.
great dude. He just joined us on our league in TTS. Dude's grinding, getting better, improving every game. My man shows up here with Sylvaneth like a monster and just plays. I love it, dude.
First
Gets me
tourney
fired
too.
up.
Got like top half, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
good.
Fire me up, man.
Out of
Fire me
42
up.
people, that's impressive.
Mhm.
Right.
For sure. And there was some sweat, some pure sweat coming at this tourney too.
Spicy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
Kyle, what was this?
So I want one of the reasons I went to Adepticon this year was really getting into painting, and I wanted to try my hand at Golden Demon, right? I knew I was going to go up against basically the NFL of painting going into this competition, right? But I decided to enter the diorama category. I love Joseph Bugman, right? So I just wanted to kind of show Joseph Bugman over the years and just kind of having a bar fight with himself. So painted up 4 different Joseph Bugmans. I built a full bar, brick wall, hand painted every single one of those lines onto the wooden floor and the table.
Bro,
Um,
I still can't believe that. Those lines are.
That's
I,
cool.
I
I mean,
simply
it
could
looks
not do it.
it
Yeah,
looks
used,
beautiful though.
use like the ogre barrels. I was able to get them off eBay for super cheap and just stacked them up in the back. So it took me months to do this. I was able to get actually a notable entry off of
Oof.
that, so I'll
Fair.
take that.
Look at that.
First time ever going into
Hey.
a Golden Demon, I got a notable entry. Might have been pandering to Games Workshop a little bit by doing Joseph Bugman. I will 100% admit that, but I was excited for that, right? Like the fact the judges even noticed, first time entrant, like, hey, this kid's got a chance, right? So makes me excited for next year. I'm already brewing up idea after idea, and I'm excited to get started. Go again.
Stoked to see it, man. Also, it turns out you never had a chance of winning because the guy that won the Slayer
Oh my
sword was in
God,
the
that
same
was
category. and
beyond incredible.
Nobody, yeah,
I've never seen that in my life. I was just
yeah.
Listen,
That's an all-time piece that you
Liz,
lost to, which I
give
think
me
is
one
fair.
second.
You go, "Oh,
I just
okay."
blew open a glow stick on my hands.
what are you doing?
And I was
Celebration.
playing,
That was hey, congrats,
playing
Kyle.
with the
Way to
glow
get that
stick,
notable
and
entry.
and like all of a sudden this weird smell came out, and I'm like smelling my hands on camera, and I
I
didn't want
can't
people to
even
be
see you
like, "What
guys
is
right
this
now. I'm
creep
still
doing smelling his hands?"
I'm
I just,
consented. Yeah.
We leave Rob
This is-
alone
we
for a
just,
minute,
it's not
For a
glowing
minute.
anymore.
and he's leaking
All right.
chemicals on himself.
I need a
Let's power through
chaperone.
Rob sorts himself out.
All right,
Also, you should be
Yeah,
aware
okay.
that I need a chaperone. I lost how many things at
That's true.
Adepticon?
Okay,
I
he lost his jacket in the airport. He lost
It was
his
on the airplane. I lost it.
objective markers, which I found, by the way. He lost
I
his
need
Red Bull,
those.
which I found and then drank because I figured he's gone already. I was just like, why do I keep finding his stuff everywhere?
Dude, we
It's like
left
Hansel and Gretel. You could find
Oh
just trail of
just
Rob
trails, trails of trash back to New Jersey where I belong. Dude, I looked at the table and I'm like, there's a wrapper, an empty can, a bottle, my dice, my pen, and it was like across each table. And I'm like, what an embarrassment. My wife would be so mad at me. Let me go wash this off. This smells horrible.
All right. While he's
Cool.
gone, just to continue the painting trend, even though I
listening.
didn't, win the Golden Demon, my first try, not that would have been a big deal or anything. No, it's kidding. I did actually win the best painted for the narrative event on Friday, which I was really, really excited for. Right, I wasn't even sure I was going to play these dwarves. Brought them out. These are my Vulcan water seekers. Right, so here's my trophy from the Dogs of Warcry. Awesome 3D printed dog. I love it. It's the perfect size. Keep in there with my models on my shelf. So glad to have it here in my collection. And yeah, people like this. And I was up against some stiff competition. We'll see Pete's displaying a little bit. A couple other just like absolutely excellent painters there. So for me to be recognized.
People, but like there was some. I mean, it was. I think Dan in Discord, Salty called it the Olympics of Warcry painting. It was unreal. Like just the quality of stuff that was out there, and yeah, it was really cool to see that yours stood out on that one, man. Congrats! Obviously, all around, just crushed it painting this weekend.
Just really happy with what happened for me in terms of painting, but for the first time going to these kind of tournaments, right?
Yeah.
And I
got a couple more pics of these
by it.
guys here too.
I wish you took pictures of you priming in the hallway for the hotel.
So on the opposite end of the spectrum, Mike literally priming his models the night before in the hotel hallways.
Yeah, it wasn't in
That's
the
so-
hallway. It was in the
that's-
stairwell where there was
Oh.
no circulation. I was rattle canning. I'll show it a little bit, but I had to rattle can some cardboard for a base. And
So
I didn't sleep at all that night to get them all done. And I wasn't doing great the next day.
So if you want to be an amateur archaeologist, just wander the hotel stairways. You may see a Neolithic outline of an egg rot somewhere, just on the wall.
That's so. I heard that. I was like, that's the most wild shit I've ever heard in my life. Someone just like in the hall. You like look
It
somebody.
was at
walking
4
down the
a.m. too. It was like
Yeah,
some
dude,
guys
it's
like
like-
sneaky rattling, just rolling it around the can.
That's
Oh, man.
crazy, dude.
Hey, I got it done almost on the nose, ready to go. Joe, my roomie for the weekend, local guy here. He was sleeping. I popped up, got all that stuff done. He had his alarm go off, and I was like, "Oh, perfect! I'm doing the last part. I'm ready to shower." So
Yeah.
it was a long
Just a-
day. That was a very long day.
But just to finish, like absolutely humbled by the praise I got from these things. So thank you everyone who voted for me on some of this stuff, and really just gave me a lot of motivation to keep trying to push and go farther. If you have any questions on how I did everything, happy to share. Just shoot me a message, shoot the team a message. I can post you the links. So just let me know.
Yeah,
Well
I
deserved.
got one more. They're so cool, dude.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I remember when you first putting them together, and we were talking about like skin tone and beard color, and just like how everything here just looks so gosh darn good, dude. Man, I'm super proud of you too for like snatching that paint and just it's just looking incredible.
I'll let you know. I did not start 2 days before the competition.
It's 3 days,
So-
right?
Oh, 3 days.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah,
3.5.
the
Hey, what a
72nd
difference
hour.
a day makes.
Oh,
We got some Pete up next.
Pete's display blew me out of the water, honestly.
Yeah, the big thing was, well, because I don't consider myself the best painter, so the way I always try to make up for it is like, well, I'll make some wacky conversions and make the display bigger than everybody else's, and maybe that'll get people to at least look at it. But
Pete's full on American. If you can't be the smartest, be the loudest.
that's right.
Bro,
But,
100% effective.
That's,
Yeah, I was
not
very
surprised
happy.
you agree in here.
yeah, I was super pleased with how it came out. Yeah, really, no complaints. It worked great. I was very pleased with it. So yeah.
This was this the competitive one, Pete? Because I think you used the display for both of them, right?
I did, yeah. Since I was playing Gits both days, it
Mhm.
just worked out really well just to keep it flowing reuse. Because heck knows I did not have enough time to make 2 displays. So yeah, we just kept on theme, and that was great. I got some people, especially the narrative. I was very humbled by that. Was just because again, I don't consider myself a great painter. But a lot of people checking it out, taking pics, and that's just really encouraging, right? It just makes you want to do better.
I think you ended up coming second. in that
Oh, I
one
don't
too.
know. I don't know.
No?
I didn't hear about
Okay,
that.
I thought I heard Vint or someone talking about that, but either way, yeah, showed out. It's just it's gorgeous, and I don't think you really get the scale of it in this picture either, but it's like
No.
a foot off the table.
It's like half the size of your leg that you got to see for the first time.
Yeah.
Right. It was a good size. I wanted to build it up so that you didn't have to bend as far down to see the models and everything. And it
smart.
gave a good scale to everything, I think.
I think the speed at which you did it was really impressive. Like,
Yeah.
I'm working on it, and then the next night you're like, it's there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like that's sick, dude. I can barely I can't even play with a glow stick properly. So I mean, like,
I will,
To be
I will
fair,
say
your paintbrush
sculpting
has
all
like
these
one bristle,
mushrooms-
Rob. That might help if you had like 2 bristles.
Right.
Double the painting speed. So.
oh, dude, I didn't tell you, all my brushes got officially ruined.
Officially, as before, where they were unofficially ruined. for
They
sure.
were ruined before.
They were workable, but then someone dumped like I share like a paint pot with my daughter, so like she has her little like dollar water brushes, like you get like 10 for like a couple bucks at a Target, and someone took them all out, and then they just put them brush side down into like a moist pot, and now everything is just like I guess I'm painting on 90-degree angles tomorrow. So-
You can
or
paint
if
while laying down now. That's gonna be cool.
yeah, dude, it's just I'll paint on my side while I'm like rattle cans in a hallway.
Yeah,
We'll
dude.
we'll have Hotel Olympics to see how bad we
We
can
got
hobby.
right ahead of us.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be wild.
Pete, were you
Nice
gonna-
job,
were you gonna say
Pete. It
something
looks
before?
sick. Yeah, Pete was trying to talk and we cut him off again.
Oh no, I was pretty much done. But yeah, overall I was really pleased with how it came out.
I see you got Prague up there too, the goat.
Always.
Ooh wee, snark.
Don't leave.
I mean,
Don't leave home without him.
It inspired me to do a display. If I didn't spend so much time on that the Durf display, like I definitely want to do something like this in the future. Like,
I think
You
I'm
did
gonna
it
do one
just
for
for display.
Nova.
You
You guys
didn't do it
inspired
for
me
the
to do
competitive
one.
tournament. You did it for the painting tournament, which is
I might try for Crystal Brush at a Nova, see how
Sweet.
that goes.
What's Crystal Brush?
It's another painting competition similar to Golden Demon. I'm not 100% sure who the host is.
You can't enter unless your brushes are to the left, though. That's what I was told.
Oh, okay. Just want to be sure.
I got you on the. I'll hook you up though.
Yeah, mine all point to the right, so I need the left
Yeah,
handed brush.
just.
Rob's emptying out Tamaya pots the glue, and then he's just using.
Yeah, dude, that's it. You caught me.
Oh, I gotta get my
Caught me.
fine detail out. He's got the one bristle.
All right, let's get to the next slide. Get to the next.
Yeah,
let's
this
go.
one.
Let's
this
go.
one's
Yes.
This was narrative.
Narrative. Yeah.
You're a
dressed up-
headache, man. You're such a headache sometimes.
This is probably like 32 hours no sleep at this point. Absolutely loaded up with.
You look like somebody on Mindhunters.
Man,
This guy's been killing women on a fucking mattress under a bridge. That's like the same vibe I get. It's awesome, dude. It's
It
so
was a
good.
long day. Yeah. So those are those models. All of those are still wet paint. This was game one, but yeah, I did a.
Do you have a close up of the models?
Yeah, on the next one.
Okay.
Right here. So this
Oh,
was
there we go.
yeah, this was all my Pokemon conversions. So yeah, it was super fun. I played Cities of Sigmar and I ran 10 Gargoylians in it.
And he won a prize for
then-
that, by the way. The most models killed.
Yeah, I don't have the
So
trophy
sick.
handy. I got a little one just like Kyle. This is the second time I've won a Dogs of Warcry Forsaken by having the most models die in narrative, not taken down, but they are legit dying. Yeah, and it was because my brain wasn't working and I couldn't force it to, so I would just double move a Gargoylian into something that could kill it easily, and then it killed it easily. So
Like the missions were fun, but didn't do well if you had that many beast models. Was the issue.
yeah, they were. It was
Like-
very fun. There's one where it's like everybody except Beast can do something. I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah, the second mission, which is my favorite mission, by the way, that was a really fun mission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one for sure. But yeah, this was a lot of time. I spend a lot more time converting than I do painting, as is evidenced by this. Although they look better from further away. Yeah, they look a lot
If you,
better.
just,
You get
if you
close.
stand in the back of the room while you watch this
Yeah,
show,
really, if you
it'll be
squint your eyes
just
all the
blurry
way
enough.
closed,
Yeah.
you can really tell.
My favorite was when I think we were messaging each other and you're like, hey, they're almost done. And you're like, oh, cool. You can put texture on that base. You go, now the bases are done.
Bases are done.
And someone
Bases were getting watercolored.
someone just looked at it. They're like, I guess, dude. You know what, man? I gotta say, dude, like your creativity on this is like astonishing.
Wow.
I could never put this together in a million years. It's so impressive, Mike. It really is really cool, dude.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just that's my favorite part, honestly, of Warcry. I like playing a lot, but just finding stupid conversions like this and like figuring out from beginning to end how to make it work, beginning to almost end, right before the paint job when I just slap it on. But like, yeah, turning them into the thing that's in my brain, it's so satisfying. Really
awesome,
cool.
dude.
That's what I love. Yeah, that's what keeps bringing me back to the game, is just being able to get those creative ideas out there. So, and spoiler alert, there's more for the
Comp team, let's go.
for the competitive event. Dressed up like the
He
Oh
played the
my
whole
God.
event in that outfit. He was sweating buckets. He was hot in
You
there.
were
and he had a
sweating
full
before we even rolled.
uniform.
Yeah, dude, it was glorious though. You were like a magnificent beast.
That's one of the most fun events I've played in. Yeah, if you can't tell, I dressed as Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, and I made a whole Ninja Turtles warband. Wore a Ninja Turtles onesie almost all day. I had it wrapped around my waist for a while because I was dying. So I had to, and I didn't wear the mask the whole time because, as you can see, I can't see this one. So, yeah. Switch it up, but this is the warband. I made them. It's all Ninja Turtles, guys. So this was my warband had the like little egg grots, and I made the Ninja Turtles, and we'll get into it in a little bit. But I painted all the bases like pepperoni, and then found a fake pizza that I put them on, and then have a Ninja Turtles pizza box for my display board, and forgot to put it out when it was time. And this wasn't even when I was tired. I just completely forgot. I didn't realize we were doing display and vote, so I didn't put it out for everybody to vote. But yeah, that one I think when I talked to Kevin, I think he said it still got second, so I was humbled by that too. through that enough people did get to see it and showed some love for it. I was stoked.
That's so awesome, dude. The
The
pepperoni
shredder was
sells
so
me.
good.
Dude,
Yeah.
the shredder, I couldn't believe how well it came out. Like usually, like they come out close to what I'm looking at, and that one I was like, I'll probably throw some pics. I'll share them, get better
So,
pictures.
I
I'll
mean,
probably
what
try
I
to
liked
paint
about it is instead of using known oil, you used actual oil dripping from pizza to get right in the cracks of your models. It's
And
pretty wild.
I stayed on brand all day. So you guys were talking about shouting about like chucking pizzas and stuff. The reaction for these guys,
Oh
where
yeah.
they can throw nets and do damage. I was pretending I was throwing pepperoni pizzas at people, right? It just kept us. I'm like, whoop, here you go. But I didn't eat anything other than pizza that day. I don't think I had pizza for lunch. And then
Literally.
taco style for dinner.
That's
Fuel of
dedication
champions.
to the bit right there. Pizza
Yeah.
the entire day.
Stayed locked in. Speaking of eating, though, this is Rob's piece de la resistance.
Mm.
The hot dog.
Look at that baby. Look at that beauty. You don't even know where where the hot dog is. But let me
No.
break this down. This is common to all our friends in the Midwest. Everyone's like, yeah, Chicago style dog. I've never had this. Dogs on the East Coast are pretty plain unless you get like chili or cheese and
Oh, come
whatever
on. Those
it might
dirty
be.
water dogs in the city are delicious.
Yeah,
I don't know
street
what's in the
meat's
water, but
great.
it's delicious.
It's definitely some sort of super virus that we've ingested since childhood. But look, this thing, every bite was a textural experience. I felt like I was taken away. Like this is the Lisa Frank folders of food, and I could not have asked for more in my life. This thing looks disgusting. Once you commit, you can't put it down. You're stuck
No.
eating it. If
You're
you
in.
rub your eyes, you're getting 8 pounds of some sort of vinegared water on your face. You gotta go in and dissect this and just take it over. It demands respect. And I implore anybody, even if you don't like what's on here, try it. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal, dude.
You
It
can't
like
tell individual pieces apart. It all comes together in an amalgamation of wonderment.
oh my goodness. I would bare knuckle brawl somebody for this. We almost had to going into the place that we wanted
That's
to.
fair.
But like
All right. Well, you broke down your hot dog. How about you break down your team now?
We didn't. We actually don't have any
Hey.
pictures of Rob's.
This is
Yeah,
Rob's team.
This is Rob. You just keep the hot dog up for my team. I'm okay with that.
If you want to see
you-
Rob's team, the actual models, check out the Team B podcast from
Yeah.
before Adepticon. He actually shows it off the beginning of the show. So
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. So I think for the Art of Warcry for the people, now they're done with our little fancy fun friend, best friend
Now
time.
that we're done with our group hug.
Yeah, now that we're done group hugging and telling each other how beautiful we are, playing our best Warcry came down to how did we build for it? So like it was kind of like a bumpy road. It was a take all comers list for each one of us. Maybe not for you because you were going for just meme theme with your Ninja Turtles.
fair.
So no
That's
matter
fair.
what, you committed to the bit,
It
which
worked.
is even stronger. So we did a TAC list for most of us, and then the pack got leaked prematurely, and we just kind of fixed up deployments, and we stayed away from changing the list, which was kind of cool. And like truth
It's
power
hard
to
for Rob.
everybody.
Rob already hated his list, even if he didn't see the fact he
Oh,
was
yeah.
about to change it, and the fact that he didn't change it is miraculous.
Right, I showed restraint today, guys. All right.
It was impressive.
it's
It's impressive.
tradition that
growth.
Rob just hates his list every moment, no matter what list
yeah.
it is. He just hates
Yeah,
it.
I'll
so.
win first place and be like, "This is terrible. What a bad
I hate
experience."
this list.
No, I actually loved it. Playing it in person felt really nice. We'll break down missions later. I don't know if you could pull up lists from Warcry
Yeah.
Or War Tally?
Yeah.
War Tally. Sorry, my apologies. I
You're
played Cities of Stigmar, Castlight Hosts, and if you followed me on anything else in the past on Off Meta Musing stuff, on T&B, I've broke down how to run the army, and at first I was on this very heavy-duty reaction control ordeal. And I wanted to be more proactive for a TAC list. So if you don't know what you're doing, either build a take all comers list if you don't know the pack, or build to skew just to take advantage and pray you get it in the right steps. That I want to be like tough guy and be like, I'm gonna skew this list and we're just gonna win. But I'm way too like, no, we just got to build to kind of handle things. I need to be very flexible as that. So we see like all the basic stuff pretty much here. Cavalier Marshal instead of the Ogre, which I've gotten a lot of looks for. Why the horse over the Ogre? Well, when my I was about to say my delicious teammates, my wonderful teammates.
Still thinking about that hot dog.
Yeah, Rob's
No,
stuck on the hot dog now. We should have backloaded
Circle
it.
back to the hot dog, dude. I'm playing with a pen now. This is gonna explode on me.
Please, yeah, Rob, put everything down. The last thing you touched
Stop
literally
touching it.
exploded.
Yeah, dude, it was a weird smell. I've never.
I believe it. Yeah, they're not supposed to be opened.
Yeah, dude, that's bad for you. So anyway, the Warhulk is typically what gives out the rune marks and the +2 tough bubble, and it was too reactive. In a take all comers list, we want to be proactive, and Horse was also designed in mind with having the ability to go get fetch treasure, and also having the Great Herald be like, hey, I'm going to move up, pull you free 9 inches, so then I could just run 9, engage something, and get quick damage, and just get the tempo of the game into my favor, so I can set myself up to not play from behind, because COS doesn't want to really chase after catching up. We want to kind of be in front or even to get in front, and that's all done with a 1 triple and a 105 point model. So that was really cool.
So good.
But we still wanted to have some of the reaction control in case we have to pivot for a slight, whatever it might be. And we had Domitan, Eye of the Storm. Dami Daddy has the Bulwark rune mark.
Love that model.
Yeah, not only does it look sick, we're digging in the treasure troves of underworld anomalies here. Because most people are like, why not run an Annie Prime? Well, Annie Prime's going to go move 6 inches. I'll see you in round 3, sir. Have a great time. You're not getting pulled by anything else. Dami Daddy on a double moves 6 per move. He's 4 native, and then he goes up to 6T with 30 wounds, and he has a wizard shot 3-7. So
And
Dami Daddy
too, by the way, not 3
4 strength on the wizard. Yeah,
it's
it's typical Stormcast wizard shots are a little bit better in that regards. Yep. So having him being able to just kind of beef up the boys around him, he felt so unbelievable. Not even killing stuff. I didn't get to use a sweet ult once, which is like an AoE damage.
You have to threaten it, right? The power of just saying, like, if I get a quad, if you're too close together, like, this game's over. So you have to respect the quad just in case.
And in turn,
baby, respect the quad.
You better respect that quad that I hopefully roll up on a 4-up and then roll 4-ups and then roll up 5-ups. You better hope I don't.
Scared. I got goosebumps when you said I got chills.
I've seen that wipeout deployments though.
Yeah,
right?
no, I have wipeout deployments.
The first time we ever heard about it was when I think you were playing Joe on TTS, right, Kyle? And you just went, I killed the whole thing.
So, it was a treasure mission. He ran to the back corner, dropped the Dominant ult, and killed the 3 treasure carriers. So he had nothing left to carry that. He was just like looking at it like, I guess, 10 damage to 3 different models.
Sick, though. Like, especially Thunderstrike, like Stormcast calling down thunder, blowing up your deployments. So basically I used him as a big 6T, running 12 inches, 30 wounds. He just alpha blocked, soaked damage. He died once in the Peters game, and it took 2 rounds of both a Snurk and a Crusher putting points into him. So I would say he did his job more than anything else. And then I went with the Vulcan Runefather with the Bokaz, and his job was to just kind of scrum, lift things. And let me tell you, he also gives the Elite Rune Mark out. And then I'd use the War Surgeon to heal him up, 5T, 22 wounds. Dude was pretty fat, and I had other ways to kind of just block and build up with it. It was really smart, and I really liked and enjoyed and played it. I thought he's going to be in trouble off deployment, so like, oh no, here's 3 move on the double. He could move 9, but never really with the missions. Kind of lucked out. Never really had an issue with that. And he has the 2-inch range in the throw with ignite weapons. But I'm going to talk about right away. The overperforming was definitely the Runefather, the Horse, the Herald, and Domitan were all overperformers for me. They just did everything I needed to at every moment. But most importantly, in a very pivotal round 2 match against Salt Daddy, against Chris, Dr. Jekyll, amazing dude, very intelligent player, was playing double Heart Eater FOMO list, which is scary on Bloodshed, on the circular control 5 inches of space. He's moving 6, throwing.
Speaking of, shout out, that was Krisling from this Discord's mission. He put that piece together, and I think all of us before the tournament looked at him and went, oh, it's going to be crazy kill, and it's not how it played out, and we all think I think everybody who played it was pleasantly surprised by how
Yeah,
well
it was super
the middle
smart.
not being an objective, and like I know we're going to talk about missions later, but yeah, really awesome, fun mission. Really got you thinking for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, the Rune Father pretty much there was a FOMO that climbed deadly terrain, took 5, took 6 from a steel helm critting twice, and sat there comfortably with I think 23 health. And then I was like, oh man, I'm gonna lose this. He just removed my flag berry. He removed like a steel helm. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. And then I had a quad. I used the aspect of the scales or whatever it's called for the Rune Father. So I swung twice. I hit him twice for I think it was 14 damage total, and then I burned him out for another 10 damage off the quad. And I just picked up the FOMO. I was like, well, I run this round in the first round. This is now mine. And I ran away with the game after that. And it was a doozy. I've never had something like that. Like just off a non-Titan 150 point piece, removing your 265 or 260. Like that was a impressive moment with it. A lot of things had to go right, but
like from a list design standpoint, like one of the things I liked about this is like when you look at abilities, right? Like the big thing, like for City of Sigmar, right, is that flag, which is a triple.
yeah.
But you don't have like the best use for doubles, right? So like when you brought in allies, you brought in the Vulcan Rune Father, which has got the double for move, double for crit, amazing double dump. Domiton, same thing, right? That double to give +2 to move, +1 to toughness. Just like you never sat there with a set of doubles wishing they were something else. You're like, I could use these. Like this is going to be good for me, right?
Right.
And on the flip side as well, like the quads for City of Sigmar, it's not a bad quad by any means, but by bringing 2 allies, I gave you utility in terms of I have an AoE quad that could just blow up a whole group, or what you just did, right? Had a quad that could assassinate somebody. It's like you brought these tools in that just kind of filled in those gaps for this team that you were building, which is one of the things I really liked about this list.
For sure.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. And the biggest thing for anybody out there listening when they're building their list, like you could take a stock list online from something or whatever it might be, and figuring out how to fit your game plan and how to compensate. Like I had no use for dice after a triple, right? Like one triple, I get a move out of some things, and typically I would use a triple once, maybe twice a game for the flag. But typically, once I pulled them in combat, that was that. And doubles would just go to onslaught for pony to move, throw 5 dice. But when you're looking to build and fill out and find a use for allies, you have to ask yourself, what do your allies bring? And how are they going to help my game plan forward? And I needed something that can soak damage and kind of clog up with some speed, and that was Domiton. And then I needed something that in a scrap or a brawl, I was able to remove things with insurance off of ignited weapons. So it was, and then it just so happens to be I looked at their rune marks, it aligned for the reactions, and that's just how I came to be with it. We'll discuss our missions and like everything, how we played out the rounds later. So, but that's how I did it. So keep in mind, ask yourselves when you're building your lists, if you want to build the best list you possibly can, like what am I trying to compensate? What am I trying to build for? Unless you're playing chaos and you just throw a FOMO or Myrmidon, call it a day, Vanguard, and it solves all your problems. Those are fantastic pieces, and there's a reason that they're staples.
Right.
So it's never a bad call with those as well. But joking aside, like figure out what you need and how you're going to complement your team.
No doubt.
Well, I think it was really good too. Is just like you compensated so well with this, and this was excellent order souping in a really.
I was really interested what he had to say.
I know we just lost him.
I thought we had Pete. I thought we had Pete tonight. Turns out.
Hold on.
Pete.
He's back. You have to
I'm
start
Hey,
over, Pete.
that's Pete.
You said you really liked something and just cut off.
Yeah, I know.
No, go for it.
Yeah,
It was
What was
Of
it?
course, this
You
is
can't
the way.
just leave it now.
I know.
It was order souping. You were
The
saying.
suspense, I tell you. But yeah, it just you looked at the weaknesses of the list and you found 2 unique random pieces that just fit in really well and accomplish very different things. And I love the list, and you piloted it very well, and it worked. But it's to your point, like where is your warband lacking, and what are those pieces that not only help compensate but improve upon the theme?
Right.
And
But,
you did a great job with that.
Looking back, Rob,
Thank
is there
you.
anything you would have changed on this? Like, knowing the pack now, like knowing like how it played out, like anything you would have done a little differently, you think?
No, honestly,
It's
like
perfect,
Domitan.
guys. That's it. It's
That's it.
recorded.
We did it.
He's
One
done.
take. Call me one. Call me one take, Tony. I'm done, guys. That's it. Honestly, you can. Domitan could be an Annie Prime, for the 2 fight missions because like once he's in there, he would just brutalize. But Domitan getting big chip damage, making people come to him, and also moving 12. Like he stole points, clogged up charge lanes, engaged people without fear of dying. I wouldn't change this list. I think it was. I don't think it was the best for the pack, but I think it was really excellent. And I'll explain some cool tricks when we go over the missions later.
All right. Who's up
But
next?
also, Peter, what you're saying about finding these pieces, I applied the philosophy of how you put a Ardboy boss, right? That 135 cheap, good scrum fighter with some dice output, and that's pretty much the Runefather in Order was for 150,
Yeah.
having 22 wounds, 5T, like a
And
slew of tricks.
he has
Yeah.
that bonus synergy given that elite rune mark for if you're reacting to give that damage as well, which is just, I mean, a perfect fit, legitimately.
It
Like
was.
everything, like you really like it's so satisfying when you get that in a list and you're like, all right, I can see most of the puzzle. And then when you find a piece that like kind of fits, you're like, all right, cool, this is neat, it's playable. But when you find that perfect fit, it's so satisfying. And I feel like, yeah, with Domitan and Runefather, I think you absolutely nailed it here. And it's obviously worked out. You played pretty well with them, so.
I think so. It was awesome. It was, and I think Salty called it Horse Lord Soup, and I think that's awesome. It's super cool.
He's
name.
good. He's got some great list names. I love what he comes up with.
No, that was pretty genius. I thought it was clutch.
I still can't believe that one guy, like, beat you though. Like,
Yeah, what list beat you, Rob? Was there any? We could actually hold on. Let's go and see. We can scroll. We can see the battles real quick. Rob is going round 3. What is it? Mercy Cabbage.
It was Peter.
Peter.
It's a dance of lovers engaging, tangoing with knives in our mouths instead of roses. It's beautiful as God intended. And
Pete, let's talk about this winning list, Rob. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, you say winning, but yeah, it was tough with this.
Really, all that matters.
Yeah, it's really flat, I suppose. But the big problem I went into going into this tournament was how the major minors were going to be. I did not build a list to compete in a major minor tournament of this style. And I knew that going into it. We talk about building to the pack, right? And I made the choice of going, no, I'm going to run this. Just because I'm a firm believer that 8 model Gloomspite gets is where they shine the best. The problem with that is all you got to do is remove 4 models, and suddenly it's a minor win. So that was the big cutoff for me with this list, and definitely, it bit me for this tournament because I had 2 minor wins. Where in the last round I lost that 4th model. So in that way, there was some. It played as expected, though. I was very pleased. This isn't the first time I've played this list. I'm of the opinion until we get a points update or something else shakes up, this is kind of gets shine the most. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to see somebody prove me wrong in that.
Yeah.
2 perfect lists, guys. This for those listening.
Yeah.
We perfected it. We're done.
Right.
Warcry solved. Game's
solved.
There's been at the same time, we joke about it, but like the amount of time that you've both put into thinking of those lists is significant, right? And like tried. So Pete, you've played different iterations of this list a million times at tournaments. Rob, you played a bunch of iterations over the span of a week. You probably played 47 different versions of that list, right?
I would know because I was the opponent for about
38
of them. So
well, I say poor Kyle, but Kyle's list was apparently pretty dominant no matter what list Rob brought. So it was Rob banging his head against that wall.
Dude, I removed 9 out of 11 of Kyle's models and still lost. I don't even want to. I had SEAL Team 6 coming from the back, and I still lost. So I was like, Cities is not it, bro. This is terrible. Like,
Pete, can you talk about your dagger?
But yeah, so
it's always been one of my favorite. that
You're so
deployment that you do.
so
It's
lustful
so
for it.
it's so good, man.
It is.
I love it. I totally understand, Mike, because I feel the same way about it. It's like you're skewing to an extreme because it's 445 points of your warband in one deployment,
Mhm.
but it's just so killy. You can set yourself up like not outside of the tournament, like Rob, when you and I did a prep match, I think a week before, just starting out, was able to get a quad and I made a double, and it was just hilarious. Round one, going, I am going to Loonshine Potion, and then be
There
able
you
to
go.
just launch myself. Yeah, sorry,
No, you're
being
good.
able to
You're good.
Loonshine the Bounder boss and go like, I'm going to touch anything on the board round one.
It's
Well,
nasty.
Snurk goes out and preps himself for round two. And
Mhm.
it's just you can just launch yourself. But also the Brugit provides that bodyguard right to the pieces, so he passes off the potion and then he can intercept. And suddenly you have this range 3 and this range 2 model that can stay out of combat while still dealing a lot back.
Mhm.
So there's just a lot of push and pull in that deployment. The hammer, like, because a lot of people would look at this and go, put the Brugit with the Crusher. That's the natural go-to. But by doing it this way, you're keeping 2 nets in 2 different deployments.
Yep.
The Crusher really doesn't need it to do what he does on the board. And also, I just enjoy the dagger too much to not run it that way. But the shield is probably the weakest part of the list. But again, our boy with that net and the Brugit just creates a nice combo that they can hit above their weight class while saving me points to put into the dagger. So they all kind of bounce off each other. Go ahead, Rob.
No, you're talking, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a combo city. It's all about out killing your opponent and just bouncing abilities around the board wherever you need them. Because there's always a play, no matter what deployment it is. You have multiple choices as far as how to play that deployment. So it's a
fun
lot to keep
seeing.
track of, but it's highly rewarding.
It's like fun seeing like almost the comparison between like yours and Rob's list, right? Rob brings this kind of like, all right, I got a generalist list with like a couple strong allies. I'm gonna go in and be able to take on everything, right? And you said, hey, I've got this combo, like I'm playing like Storm, which is like a solitaire deck in Magic, and I'm gonna just combo you out, delete you off the board, and I'm gonna win from that standpoint, right? So just a different approach to I'm ready for everything, and I've got a game plan that it doesn't matter what mission it is. I'm gonna
Mhm.
execute on this game plan, and it's gonna win me the game.
Well, that's right. Like Peter's playing a skew, like not a traditional skew list of like having all the same profile, but he's skewing towards high velocity and a combo play style, right? So
Right.
he even like two
Yeah.
doubles says Brugit, and then I charge you. And then even if I
Mhm.
get one round of 7 dice off at 5 strength 2/5, weight of dice say it's going to most likely do some damage to something, but it's high velocity. But if like I've seen it and like I've played Peter a whole bunch, when that happens and it fails and it took 2 of your doubles and it took setup, it really crumbles at that point. But
Mhm.
the thing is,
Mhm.
there's so much weight of dice and the
Sure.
statistics and what he names or what he aims for to scalpel those pieces out that he has a like more of a guarantee for, really shined through. And it's really cool to see that you build to pretty much just go, you know, the pieces you can Loonshine have a extra 3 inches of reach, Snark, and the Ardboy boss with a free 3 charge. So
Mhm.
it's really smart, and it's really cool. And Snark is just a menace, dude. For our listeners, but why would I want to play Snark Sour Tongue for 130 points?
He's coming out as of by the time this comes out, it'll probably be
Yeah.
available in the re-release of the Underworlds
Yeah.
box. So if
Mhm.
you feel like dropping some cash or sharing it with some friends, you'll be able to get your hands on him. And most importantly, Prog the Meta coming through
That's right.
together. Teamwork package.
Well, not
Like
great,
Rob,
but anyway.
like Rob, you brought up the point though, like that velocity, right? He has this like really nice alpha strike that could set the pace of the game. And when we talk
Yeah,
about
it steals
missions, right?
tempo, right?
Right? The plan of tempoing certain missions really can end up with opponents sitting around for of like, I can't win this anymore. Like he's got too much of a lead. So just, awesome.
It stacks. It really stacks. And like the thing with this list too is like, and one thing before I go any farther with it is like a lot of people get in this head because in the community it's right, brew get, right? I can't tell you how many tournaments I barely touch Moonshine Potion.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Sometimes
use it once a tournament. Sometimes.
Right. It's sometimes it's the fact that the threat of the Moonshine is there. And to be honest, I mean, for the points, 12 wounds, it makes a great distraction piece. It's a good intercept piece, but it helps you set up the combos, but you don't have to rely on it.
Right.
So it's for a lot of guys that go, it's Brugge. It's all about it's really not though. It makes a nice addition, but it's not the center of the list.
It's like
but
as
yeah,
a
going back
natural
to
taunt to it, people are taunted by it, want to kill it. So
yeah, people. I've watched
Absolutely.
people overextend, and I know Mike, it applies to you.
Yeah,
I've watched people.
It happened in one of my games.
I've
for sure. I'll
me
get into
playing
later.
with like I used to play Destruction super a lot, like until I started swapping to Order, and I watched people overextend to the high heavens to gamble on a kill on a Brugit, and on 12 wounds, if your dude's not hitting 4 dice with like 3-5, 3-6, and you're not rolling well, and you have one swing, and it puts you out in nowhere land, it's such a risk. It makes people play differently, and I think it's more of a proverbial boogeyman, as you said, Peter. Like it's this like, oh, Brugit, he makes your attacks great. Yeah, he does. But guess what? Peter has to go activate, spend a double, wait.
Yep.
And then you're like, okay, this is my giant. Don't go near that. And even if Peter's intent of swinging with it or not, he now controls space because he's like, well, this guy's got a Moonshine Potion. You want to come in? We're going to rumble. I can come to you and we're going to rumble. So now your whole game plan is predicated around playing against it. And if you want to sit there and try to rumble with it, like, good luck. That's on a bounder boss that's just going to go a million years out and to the next board table and touch you and not take you out on a very nice date. That's where you're gonna be at. But it's
and like the scariest part, like what you say, control space. Like I've seen Pete do this where he goes, all right, activate Moonshine Potion, wait, opponent goes, think he's gonna like move with that bound to boss next. And Pete's like, no, I'm gonna keep doing other things.
Pete,
right?
you're so
like,
patient, man. You're so happy to just wait until
I'm gonna just wait till the right moment, right? And that like
Yeah.
mindset of like, yeah, just because it has the buff doesn't mean I'm gonna use it right away. I'm gonna
But
sit there as a threat and a
it puts
control
you-
piece. And sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No. Sorry, I was talking over you. I was just gonna say, but like you set the trap early, and then anywhere the trap can go off, right? Like like you said, right? You're controlling the board, but like you can project that damage wherever you feel like it. The other thing I love about that dagger, Pete, I know we've talked about like the ability to send damage, but it can just straight up brawl. I know you play it where you just chuck the Brugit in front because you don't care. You Brugit something to start, and then you put the Bounder Boss up front because it's got great toughness. Snurk swinging from the back, and it is a beat down of a deployment. Absolutely
whipping over someone, just whipping over his friend, like
exactly.
You're just like, you can't do anything about it. You're like, okay.
It's why every single one of these can just absolutely.
What's interesting. Right. Well, what's interesting too is you got to keep in mind too, this list is a very control list too, because you got to remember there's 2 nets in this list. So not only is it a hyper,
he's playing aggro, control, defensive.
He's
Pete's got all of them into one list.
I am all the archetypes.
All of the
You
archetypes.
shall bestow them on me.
Turns out if you build lists long enough with the same faction, you can find how to do everything at the exact same time, which is, again, just a testament to your understanding of the faction, Pete, as well as the allies to pull in there, man. Always unreal to see it.
Peter, real quick, before we rotate to the next person, Peter, what was your biggest overperformer, underperformer?
Ooh.
I said everybody on my team like an idiot. So
that's tough.
Sounds like Rob.
I mean,
was it your Crusher?
I would say probably
really well.
Snurk. You're funny. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny there. No, I would say Snurk probably pulled the most weight game 1, pulling off a quad and just going in and just removing one of the bigger leaders in the approaching war band was just, he set the tone in a lot of games where it was just like, yeah, he's coming in. If you're not removing him, he's going to earn double his points back here in a couple of rounds, and then you're going to be sorry you didn't do something about it. But yeah, Snurk was probably the MVP of the day. Yeah,
Awesome,
Bounder was pretty solid. Crusher, that was more placement than the Crusher, though. That's on me. It wasn't Crusher's fault. That was my choice there. Yeah,
it wasn't.
But,
the whippy sticks.
The whippy sticks. The whippy sticks were 16th of an inch short.
Yeah, it kills me. I got to get new measuring. Yeah,
I told you,
but no,
whittling it down, just sharpening off the next inch, getting it ready.
Right,
Just stab somebody.
right. But like I said, I've played this list before. I'm extremely happy with the list. Other than like it's the wrong list to bring to this type of major minor. It performs. If it was a different layout, probably see it again. But I'll have to think more about that style of tournament. I really should be bringing a different list if going for first is what I want out of it. Purely because the major minor definitely hurts it. But other than that, it did exactly what I wanted it to. I was pleased with it.
The fact that you could play into something that doesn't cater to, like, that's major minor, doesn't cater to you and still perform well is just a testament to how you play the game. Let's rotate. Let's keep on time here. Who's next?
I think it's round to me. Pete played some guy named Michelangelo in the 4th round.
I think it was Michael Anglo at one point.
It got changed. It got fixed.
Michael Anglo.
So, whoops, I forgot to go to this one.
Spelling is not the team's strong point. So.
Oh, no.
I didn't enter it. I had everything perfect on BCP. Then when we switched it over in a heartbeat, it was
likely excuse, Mike. Likely excuse.
All right. Well, built this whole list kind of on a goof to start, and that's kind of generally my list building philosophy. I'm going to build something that I'm excited about, that I'm making a fun kit bash for, but then I'm going to fine tune it in between that. Right? I'm not just going to bring something that's pure trash, just because I think it's cool to have those models there. I usually try to find a way to make it something that I believe in some capacity. I did not expect this list to play as well as it ended up playing. But it was super fun. I have fallen in love with Monster-Killas. I think they're my favorite faction to play. They really suit the way that I like to play the game. They're a high risk, high reward kind of faction. I used to play super elite lists for a really long time. I play 6 model lists, so I'm used to gambling and knowing when I need to take those chances. I enjoy that style of analysis during the games. But yeah, so this one you got. You can see the names. I put the names of the actual characters alongside what their actual model was. So in the dagger, we saw the pack early, tried to share it with as many people that we knew were going to be there as possible, but the dagger was on the board 3 out of 4 missions. So for me, it just made sense. Okay, I want to have my beast knob out there. I want to have my howler out there. It's just nice to have that mobile body out there all the time. And then Brugit going with the beast knob 100%. The beast knob is the biggest thing on this list. It's only 200 points. That is my largest model. It's got great output, not great defensively. Kind of the theme of the entire list. Brugit lets him compete when I can time it and get in. Really lets him compete with the bigger models, lets him swing. He already swings super hard, but it really punches him up and he can really start lifting stuff in a hurry. So Brugit was in there. And then just a Clutcher Grot, a little bit of control, the reaction to either guaranteed damage. Well, it's guaranteed damage no matter what when I react, unless I decide to roll a 5 up and I can do 4 damage, or I can chuck that net out there. But yeah, 4 bodies on that first mission, and for just the dagger made a lot of sense for me. So got a nice range in there. Wanted to have my biggest damage piece available on the board to start the game. In the hammer, sorry, 1 second, my voice is going already. In the hammer, I knew it was going to be somewhat of a brawlier spot, so I thought it'd be a good idea to go 2. So I have 4 Clutcher Grots total. 1 for each Ninja Turtle, and the Clutcher Grets seem to make sense in there just because the Bone Hacker needs to get a little bit closer than most things, but it kind of all of the things in this list die in a hurry as soon as something gets there. So I thought having 2 Clutcher Grots might potentially make it a little bit safer. I can potentially get those nets off, or I can weaken stuff as they come in to try to fight the Bone Hacker. with a move action, and so that he can finish off the kill when he needs to. Usually they can soak one attack from something decent, sometimes not, but so if he can, if they move and attack, usually if I can respond and then attack first next, I can usually kill most things with him. So he's got Saw him up. Very rarely roll more than like 6 damage on that ability. Even rolling out 6s, it's wild. I think I got a 9 out of this tournament, Pete. I think it might have been against you. I'm sorry to bring it up. But the
All I'm
combo,
saying though is every time Rob plays that model against me, he gets like 15, 18 damage.
Yeah,
It's
sounds
like
like
every time. And it's like,
he
come
rolls
on.
it straight. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unreal. But yeah, the combination of, that's the only strength 5 besides the Beast Knob in here, or the highest strength besides the Beast Knob. So that's when you kind of want to be going into your more armored units, and then having that ability, you can just burn through stuff. You can really melt stuff without worrying about what their toughness is. So same with Clutchergrats. Clutchergrats don't care what your toughness is. They're just pinging you for that damage at 2 damage at the very least. So that combination really helps kind of whittle down whatever I'm fighting and helps him win fights. The shield was only on the board for 1 mission, and it was the only deployment on the board for that mission. Sorry, the shield was only on the board to start the game for 1 mission. That mission was a mission where it mattered to get the maximum number of kill points in a round. Every other round, or every other game that it came on a board edge. So I said, okay, I want to have something fast in this deployment because I'm going to need to get at different places. So I chucked my other Howla in that. And then I had the Beast Stick with the Harpoon with the 8-inch range because, I move 4 and I'm getting an attack on something within 12 inches. Usually I'm going to be able to project that damage really well. The biggest thing that I needed to really think about with this one that I focused on was in that kill mission, I was like, if I can snipe something really early in that mission and get the kill point for round 1, it becomes huge. And that's exactly what happened. I got lucky. I played against a list that it was ogres, and I was able to completely snipe a little Noblar and steal 2 points in that round. And that was the whole reason why I front loaded it like that. So, and the list in general too, I knew I had to bring 4 Clutchergrats. That was how the list was invented. It was 4 Ninja Turtles. That was always going to happen. Knew that the Beast Knob was going to be there. I toyed around with bringing 2 Beast Knobs, and then I played it in TTS and didn't like it as much, and because I realized having a Brugit can help me spike in the areas when I need to. The biggest list building decision I had to make is I knew I wanted a hack. I knew I wanted a harpoon. Both of those are really good. I had to decide what I wanted to do with. Once I pulled out the second Beast Knob, I added 70. I had 130 points left over, and I was like, okay, do I want to bring another harpoon? Do I want to bring another saw? Do I want to bring the Baller Boy who has the whip? 5 attacks, can do a lot of stuff, can turn off reactions with a triple. And I landed on having the extra speed with the monkey, and boy, was I glad. It was just the perfect piece that really synergized with everything I wanted to do really well. Having that potential move 12 on a double action to just whip across the board with those things is so helpful in a warband that's just move 4 everywhere else. And stuff that doesn't really want to be moving a ton in the Clutchergrats. They kind of want to be waiting and then reacting, or waiting and then taking a single move, stuff like that to threaten a reaction. So it was. It honestly, like, I look at it and I still don't think it looks like a terrifying list, but it really, their damage spike potential, as Pete will attest to, gets insane when you really start rolling well.
Which is like even interesting, like as you said, like bringing the Howla, right? The Howla isn't as crazy in terms of damage. It comes down to those neck slices, right? And then to make the choice and say, like, I think my damage is enough. Take a step back. I just want movement, right? Like I think a lot of people get trapped in list building, saying like, I just need to kill models, right? And then not realizing, 2 out of 3 kind of mission types are not kill missions, right? Like, sure, you have to kill a treasure carrier, kill stuff to get them off of like an objective, but knowing that speed was more important for take all comers kind of thing, and saying, actually, this movement could steal that objective. Actually, you could chase down the treasure carrier because I believe it's a beast, so it can't carry the treasure itself. But but just having that speed, right, really kind of cements this list out. Because I mean, you look at it, if that was instead like the neck slicer, and you were trusting that for damage, and then you needed to move it, and then your damage just highly dips. It just really interesting choice on that one.
Well, I think what's interesting too, right, as I think made a big difference, is the 10 models.
Yeah.
because you were able to
Most
really
models I've ever played in a tournament. Usually, like I
set
said, I'm
yourself.
sitting at 6. I'm comfortable playing with tiny model
Sorry.
counts, and it felt weird to play with so many and move them all around.
It created a lot of options for you, though, and you really got to protect those soft models that are
Mhm.
more weak because you could out activate your
Yeah.
opponent in a lot of cases.
Yep. And that was a huge strategy that I defending the Eggrots, because if they start dying in a hurry, like, and full disclosure, if you're playing against a list like this, kill them, get rid of them, get that activation advantage out of the way in most missions, right? Like Pete, I was terrified in our game. You got that charge ability with your bounder boss, right? You can, if you got a trip 6, you can just get in there and you can just smash it up, basically, right? Auto kill. You don't roll attack actions. It just dies. And there's so many models that have that chart, or the tackle style of ability. So a lot of what I did with the Eggrots was, when they came onto the board, I would oftentimes just shoot them straight up onto a platform as early as I possibly could, because then they're positioned for the next round to have that kind of area of control. And it's harder to get 2 swings on them. Usually they're surprising little buggers. They live far longer than you would expect them to a lot of the time. The 4 toughness, even though there's only 6 wounds, oftentimes people just throw, let me just throw 80 points at it. Well, usually it's going to live at least 1 attack, potentially 2. So you might be sitting there for 2 rounds just dealing with this stupid 6-point model. And as you're moving in, if I net you, you're in, you're just like, this is so many wasted actions. So being able to out activate and capitalize on what the reactions were, and delay getting into the beast knob and stuff like that, if I needed to, really, really helped. Just project let me do with the list what I wanted to do with the list.
So I think overperform, underperform overall, or you got second place. So you had by 85 kill points, by the way, like that close of a gap between you and first. Like, was there anything on this list you're like, wish I had something else, or I wish I had more of?
To be honest, I felt so balanced across the board. The Brugit, like we were talking about just now, I didn't Brugit a lot. I Brugited a monkey one time. I Brugited the beast knob maybe 2 times the whole time. I think I only did it 3 times, across the entire game. However, in the third game, my opponent, I was playing Fred, and he charged it, and he came in, he's like, we got to get rid of that. And that was when I completely pivoted my strategy, right? It really made a difference, because it turned me from a defensive mindset into an offensive mindset. I said, okay, this is where I win the game right now. And it created that opportunity for me, just by being present. So I guess you could say that overperformed by getting nuked by a Lord of Afflictions. But all around, I think that this list is meant to be a balanced list, other than sometimes the Beast Knob. But Neck Slicer stole me some points in games. Beast Thicka did with the Neck Slicer. No, yeah. The Harpoon stole me points in the games. The Sticker with the Haka, he was, he got what he needed to as well. It was a really well-rounded list. All the Eggrots kind of complemented each other well. Nobody ever felt like they were super spiked or really underperforming. It was just fun to play.
Awesome.
Now we get to go to the what I think personally is the best list out of the 4 of us.
And it's completely unbiased. It was
it is.
Well, no, I thought we were talking about yours. No, Kyle's. No, never mind. I actually agree. I thought we were going around.
Kyle's 100% the best list out of all of us. Like,
I don't have to scroll too far. Right down here to a nice little 4th place for Kyle. Pretty easy to get to. We'll go through that for real quick. I was gonna say we got the totals there, but we can touch up a couple other ones in a sec. Here you go, Kyle.
Yeah, so I
regale us with your death tales.
I designed this list to play Warcry, play a mission, get points. That was no. So my number one philosophy, like when going into this mission pack, right? Like originally we didn't really know what the missions were going to be. As we said, we had that leak. The only thing I did was flip my hammer and dagger based on the missions. I did not change any models that were in this list. But one thing we did know was the major minor wins, right? My philosophy going into it was, hey, we're going to have 50 people in this tournament. It's 4 rounds. Those major and minor wins are going to matter a lot, right?
For sure.
And the difference between major and minor is if the winner's team lost half the models or more, right? So
Mhm.
if you lose half the models, your opponent then would get a minor loss and it would be a minor win for you. If they were unable to get rid of half of your models, it would be a major win versus a major loss. So there's a couple cutoff points for that. You have 6 models to 7, right? Because 7, then you have to kill 4. You have 8 to 9, where 9, you would have to kill 5. And for me, I said I want to go all the way and say 10 to 11, where at 11, they have to kill 6 individual unique models to get rid of half of my warband, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So my whole philosophy was most lists are going to have a lot of trouble killing 6 individual models just based on action economy, right? Like that means they at some point are probably gonna have to kill multiple models a turn. Turn one's typically not too lethal, so they have 3 turns and however many actions against a list that actually has a lot of defensive reactions to try to kill all those models. So that was like the big philosophy going into it, right? So why I chose Soul Blight,
And
right?
Kyle, when you say the individual models, right? Do you want to explain that a little bit? Because it's like you can kill models,
Yeah.
right? But it has to be.
So when you look at how the packs are actually written, right? It says you have to kill half the warband, right? But I said individual models because, for example, if the Vampire Lord, so you kill Thane first and last, right? He's removed off the board. If I resurrect Thane in your face and you kill Thane again, he doesn't count twice towards the points, right? You just look at the end of the game and see what models were killed. I killed Thane. Doesn't matter if you killed Thane once or you killed him 3 times.
20
That's still
times.
only 70 points. So part of
So
the tactic in
aggravating.
there. Yeah, so
Ugh.
part of the tactic here was to go and say, all right, you killed Thane. I'm going to resurrect Thane in your face again. You want to kill him
Mhm.
again? I don't care, right?
Yeah,
It's
one
not going to count
model.
against me at the end,
Yep.
which is very frustrating to go up against because your opponent's going to throw those things in your face, right?
Right,
Um,
Rob? You got some
you,
practice against it.
you had to fight against this for like 3 weeks straight. So that was really the tactic I wanted to do going into this, right? Um, which the next part of my tactic was going into this tournament. I really wanted to uh, go in and not spam Graveguard, go for kind of like that killiness with Resurrection, right? I wanted to go for like a more of a pure control list, right? Go in there and say, Death doesn't really have the tools to fight like a Foam Void Crusher. I don't really have the tools to go and fight a Vanguard, right? So if I can't kill them, how do I take care of them, right? So that's where I really thought about like, all right, Soulblade doesn't have tools, but the new Flesh Eater Courts do. So I brought the Marrow Scrolled Herald and the Abhorrent Cardinal. The Herald's got the triple where I could offer someone a bone. If they accept it, they can't use abilities. If they reject it, that means that they can use abilities, but at the end of their activation, they have to roll a dice on a 5+. They're just dead instantly,
Each
right?
each activation,
Each
Each
right?
activation.
activation,
Mhm.
which actually ended up being a pretty decent factor in my 4th game where I was able to offer the bone turn 1 against a Varangard. Uh, he managed to actually survive rounds 2 and 3. He rolled like a 1, rolled a 2. But it was an objective mission, and the Varangard's base can sit on 2 objectives, and he died in round 4, rolling on a 5, right? So, 1, I got the kill points from it. 2,
So awesome.
essentially took 2 models off the board for doing nothing, right? Like, I think I damaged it once just because I could, and I
It's
had nothing else to
a
do on that
triple,
turn. But
right? A
yeah,
triple in one round.
just a
That's all you had to
triple.
commit. To kill a Varangard, I'd
Um,
take that trade every time.
Yeah,
and
that's absolutely insane.
on turn 2, he actually offered it to what's the flying Nurgle one again?
Oh, Lord of
Lord of
Afflictions.
Affliction.
The Lord of
Mhm.
Lord
Afflictions,
of
where he said, "Yeah,
Afflictions.
I don't need to use abilities." And twice during the game, he's like, "I'm going to use his ability." I'm like, "You can't." And he's
Yep.
like, "All right, so I can't move in onslaught. I can't move and use that burn spell anymore." So
Nope.
I've really stopped my opponent from doing anything into saying, "Yeah, those bodies are just stat blocks." Um, in addition to that, of course, the Cardinals got the double on a 3+. I completely remove an action. Uh, didn't roll so hot on that during the tournament. I did it 6 times, which you'd think like, oh, I should get 4 of them. I only got 2. It was actually funny. I was telling opponents, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to steal an action, but don't worry, I haven't gotten this yet. And just rolled a 1. I'm like, point in case, like, don't worry about it. I'm just wasting dice. Uh,
Cool.
but the times they did go off, right? Round 1, for example, turn 3 going into turn 4. So that strip of an action says in your next activation. So it doesn't even have to be the same turn.
Mhm.
So I targeted his Foamroid Crusher. Turn 4, it wasn't engaged to
Those go,
anything.
right? You played
Yeah,
Joe
that was
that
Joe.
one? Yeah.
Which, when we get to the missions, I can talk to you about how he started that game, because how it started, how it ended, very different game. Uh, but strip that action, meaning on turn 4, that forward crusher, completely useless, right? Couldn't remove models, couldn't do anything besides move, which is extremely powerful, right? Like, I just completely shut off a model from really doing anything unless you wanted to invest a ton of dice into it through like a rampage or something like that. Um, so that was essentially number of bodies. Those are my control pieces. Uh, and then I mix that with the fact that Soulblade Gravelords, their reaction, right, Unfeeling Flesh, -1 to damage,
Mhm.
means that players just are going to have a really tough time actually killing my models. If their damage profile is like 2-4, it's now 1-4, right? Really kind of just keeps them alive. And then the final part is having that many models means that I get to dictate the pace of the game. I can move when I want to move. I can wait when I want to wait. So the joke is like, this is basically Wait Simulator. I'm going to sit there and outwait you,
That's
and then I'm
Kyle's
going to
favorite
do
way to play.
and then I'm going to do whatever I want, right? Because it's my favorite way to play, because I hate counter, right? I hate the fact that
Fair.
like I can't play an elf, run in there, attack you 37 times, because you just counter me to death. And to fix that, I just say, well, if you already went, you can't counter me anymore, right? So just outwait them. You can go in there and get those free attacks off.
Yeah, that was. I think Kyle, you and I both very much had that play style, right? Like I'm waiting with my eggs because I get that activation advantage, and then I still have the ability to pop those reactions. You're waiting because you can do whatever you want after you've outweighted the entire warband. You have so many
Right.
options.
And then to continue on with that, right? Most teams, like when you're playing like 7, 8 models, can't afford to wait. They need to move to get into position.
Mhm.
They need to move to attack. Like on an objective mission, I have 11 models. I'm going to take these objectives unless you start killing something.
Mhm.
Meaning your opponent needs to either double move into you or try to move into you, get one attack off. Meaning that I'm free to start swinging back if you tried to do something like that. So if you look at the breakdown, for example, like my Vampire Lord sitting there with the Velmorn boys, um, very common. Turn 1, I'd wait with a Kalmar the Healer, or wait with Marshall Falk, because I could wait with them, then use a Shambling Horde and just shoot them forward anyway, right?
Mhm.
So essentially double sixes, wait with Marshall Falk. Cool. He moves 6 and moves 3. I still have a 9-inch move on that guy. So I could kind of essentially get a free action out of them using a Shambling Horde. Which was very effective on like turn 1, trying to move people around. I'm sorry, Vampire Lord could fly, which is another huge factor. They able to just like essentially, if you kill a model early, I could double move my Vampire Lord 10 inches and then resurrect a model halfway across the board, because you can resurrect anywhere you want. So I essentially have a flying 2 bodies with my Vampire Lord. Hammer came in like the least. It really is the control pieces. They're going to double move, try to use his abilities. They move really fast, so I was never expecting to try to hold objectives with them too much. Regulus is just in there because he's kind of the slowest piece. He's just going to move around, try to shamble wherever he can.
It's 45 points. What's not to love?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
seriously.
45 points. He's it's a skeleton with strength 4 on his attack. It's kind of
Classic.
nice.
Man, I hope I got that kind of physique when I'm a skeleton one day.
But then the shields, this was very intentional. Like, if anyone wants to play Diantos zombies, you have to run at least 10 models, in my opinion, because you want to keep all 4 of these zombies together. First things first is that they're a lot faster than you expect. They move 4, not 3. So they have an 8-inch range on the board, which is huge. If I can get the Vampire Lord in there, they could also Shambling Horde, even increasing that range further if necessary. But the second part about it is they have this ability called Crackling Arcs, which is a double. So you'd roll a number of dice equal the value of the double. So for example, if you had double 6s, you'd roll 6 dice. On every 5+, you would deal damage to a target equal to the number of these zombies that are within 3 inches. So essentially, I have an 11-inch threat range burn spell. So this actually, when we talk about the missions, this came up in one of the kill missions where they had the 5-inch bubble. They have to move into the bubble because it's worth a point. I just sat there and waited. He was done. I moved into the bubble with 4 bodies and then just burned one of his guys out 3 points right off the bat. And there's nothing they could do about it unless they were just going to give me the center point for 1 point, which is not a winning play style. So
Kyle just invited a friend into the tub, and as soon as they got in, he hopped out and dropped the toaster in.
that's essentially what happened. So
So It's so frustrating. I mean, you designed the list that's genius because you attack on like 3 different axes, right? You can sibling rivalry with the Spooky Boys and Vampire
There's
Lords.
two. So like I had printed out like a sheet, of like my warband and abilities. The one sheet was the warband, and there's 2 full pages of abilities, not counting like the neutral abilities that you can use. So
Mhm.
it's like trying to even like if you're the opponent, if you don't know the models that well, and I try my best, like zombies burn, the herald can offer the bone, the cardinal can strip in action, the vampire can.
Mhm.
It's even hard to remember. Like they have so many things they can do. You're never wanting for dice, so many angles. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You're up.
No, it's
It's
cool.
so overwhelming.
Yeah. And that's the point though, right? Like that's what you're trying to do. And not necessarily from like a mental it's not like you're so paralyzed just by trying to understand the list or anything like that. It's just you can't, even if you understand it, playing defense from 5, imagine playing goalie, but you're getting shot at in soccer from 360. Where are you supposed to face? What are you supposed
Right.
to try to defend against, right?
And that's what
And
I was
that's
going to
what,
say. He
okay.
can, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was going to say
No, yeah, go ahead.
he can burn you out with his shield. He
Mhm.
can beat you down with his dagger.
Mhm.
Or he can control your activation economy with his hammer, or if not, outright remove a model if you accept the bone.
Mhm.
Like it's such a futile thing, and playing it, and anybody else playing it, you can't wait against him because he
Mhm.
outweights you and then does what he wants, and then tempos instantly his. You
Yep.
have to go in and you have to crush a lot of models quickly. Another good option of going and playing against it, when I played against you, Kyle, I know if you have a triple or res, I would leave models on like 1 or 2 health, and then next turn clean them up, so that way you have a harder time. You can't just do it. But like even if I'm killing 2 to 1, you're still bringing stuff back. It doesn't count towards like beyond the unique point. You're still bogging me down to the point where if I don't have a lot of reactions, like if I'm not playing like thick boy cardio where a grand hammer is going to clean up 1 per activation and then get 1 off Calthea to do it again. Like if you're just playing, I want to show up and play a good game of Warcry, and then like Kyle's coming with his dictionary or his thesis of like soup. Also, 3 of us playing soup is excellent. You're coming out there and you're like, well,
Well,
I
I
could
guess I
burn
didn't
you.
soup today. I guess I was like, who didn't play soup? And I was like, oh, it's me. I played broth.
Who was it?
I just played pure
All I'm
broth.
saying
baby.
is, like, Mike was going for the most fun opponent. I was essentially going for the least fun opponent.
Yeah,
to play
Kyle didn't
against.
get any
Like,
votes. You got
no
said,
votes.
Let's number 4 for Kyle. That's
They just left his name off the ballot. They just listed their top 3. Kyle was just left. I'm so happy I didn't have to face
Who
you though,
invited
because
me?
that
same,
that
right?
that list is a miserable experience
In
to
a
play against.
in a
And like,
competitively intelligent way, right? It's not meant to be oppressive and don't have any fun. It's just so happens that you're not going to have any fun trying to find it.
Well, it just
I
removes
love
like
it.
I just love the idea of being able to like remove ways to play the game, right? Like that's the best way I explain it. Like another list, like I was
Makes sense.
considering, but like not bringing was bringing like 11 dual crossbows from Wielder Core, because I just essentially say like counter doesn't exist in my games anymore, right? Which is a very frustrating thing to
PTSD
do.
scarred.
Yeah, which is like
And
it's
then I just play cities. Just
yeah, I'm gonna go
ignore it.
against Rob and just kill myself. Like
The training would have gone the opposite way. Kyle's just freaking out.
but
Kyle, the only question I have for this one was,
yeah.
did the Cardinal and the Herald end up in the same deployment just because there's nowhere else to put them? Everywhere else just made sense to as their pieces, so they kind of got lumped together.
Well, I mean, the shield, the zombies have to be together. Like keeping them apart doesn't make sense, right? For crackling arcs to maximize what it needs to do, you got to do that. You probably could put one up into the dagger and probably be okay with it.
Okay.
I just didn't, because my philosophy was essentially shield kind of sticks together. Dagger for the most part kind of want to stick together because of sibling rivalry. The vampire lord just move around and buff them. But the hammer with the herald and the cardinal having that move 5 compared to the vast majority of my guys moving 4 or 3, I knew they were just going to go sprint and do whatever they need to do.
Makes
right,
sense.
like their
and
job.
then Regulus is just standing there, pants down, got nothing to do. Well, I guess I'm the group now.
Because like the herald's job is like if I need to offer the Harold's job is if I need to offer the bone, I need to do it as soon as possible. I'm not going to stick around and hang out with these guys, right? I'm going to go sprint across the board, pass objectives, pick the target I need, offer them the bone, or the
Mhm.
Cardinal's gonna go sprint across the board, get to where he needs, try to strip an action. So there was no like real point in putting them somewhere else
For sure.
because they were never going to stay with that group
Yep.
anyway.
Makes sense.
And then of course I just Regulus kind of fills it out to that 1,000 points. The worst model on the list overall. So he's just going to go mosey around, maybe sit on a point
He's a
somewhere,
body.
double move. He's just
It's
a
never-
body.
Yeah, you got a cheap body.
45
What's
body,
not to love
that's
about
it.
just having a guy that can be there?
He's pretty. That's about
Would
it.
Who
you-
was your
Yeah, I was gonna
overperformer,
say.
underperformer?
Underperformer. I'm actually going to say is my Vampire Lord. It died 2 of the games out of 4. It got crit off round 3, which really kind of forced the tie. Like my opponent moved, rampaged, crit 7 out of 8 attacks when I was at like 23 life, and I was just sitting there like, I guess I'm dead. Like there's nothing I could have done against that. And then of course like round 1, he just got absolutely annihilated by a Fomeroid. Round 2, I forget what my opponent did, but just like everyone was just like, I'm gonna kill a Vampire Lord so he can't res, and I'm like, sure, go after the toughest, hardest to kill model on my list. I'm going to just run around and do whatever I want. So definitely the underperformer because of how badly he was targeted. And my initial thought of like, oh, I'm going to move this guy around. He's kind of tanky. He can kind of brawl a little bit. He cannot brawl, apparently. Not how I played.
He's really good at taking punches, really right in the face.
I would say like the underperformer is like it's tough to say it as this, but I'm going to say the Marrow Scroll Herald a little bit. Like I love its ability. It really can change the dynamics of the game. Unfortunately, its ability just wasn't relevant round 1, 2, or 3. Right? There was really nothing major to strip, or if I did strip, like the ability to use abilities, like it really wasn't that powerful. Um, and then when I finally used it on the last game, it was extremely powerful, right? Like shut off that the Lord of Affliction and killed a Varangard. So it's like it's one of those models that it's either amazing in the game and could change the dynamic completely, or it's a model that's just like he's a ball of stats at 150, certainly can't kill like the Runefather can, right? Can't do any of those kinds of things. It's very much like, do I need a tool to control somebody? And you have to be okay with some games of it just being like, yep, it's just stats, whatever. I've got other stuff I got to do. So uh, that's what I'm saying. It's both like underperforming because underperformed 3 games, but then overperformed and like basically won me the last round. So like,
I also
that's what to say about
you
it.
can't talk too much trash about him because the list isn't built to kill things really, and that ability got you a third of your kill points just by having
it did. Yeah, that's the reason I got 4th, right? Because I had the same record as number 3, but I didn't get kill points.
You tied that guy. That was your only non-win, right? You tied Austin, who had also Soul Blight.
So the one thing I do want to point out to people who are interested in trying this list, though, is like as you said, like my kill points weren't amazing, right? And you think about, well, if I go into Reaper, like why would I ever want to play this list? So like this is where like you got to keep certain things in mind, right? Each turn is about like the number of points you kill. So if your opponent kills one of your shield models, 60 points, okay. If you kill like one model worth 120, he's got to kill 2 of yours. And because you're so hard to kill, your opponent has to invest a lot of resources to kill one model, meaning you can invest a lot of resources back to kill a more expensive model. So is it going to be a close game? Absolutely. Is it winnable? 100%. Then you just have to utilize the fact that make your opponent come to you, make your opponent try to get your kills, put them in an awkward spot, and then slam back with the shields burn. Maybe even use the Vampire Lord +1 attack. Like at a certain point, you're gonna be rolling a weight of dice, right? Those zombies are 3 attacks, 3 strengths. Who cares? But 4 damage. The number of times I roll them, I'm like, okay, crit hit, 5 damage. Roll again, crit hit, 5 damage. I just did 10 damage on a 60-point model. It adds up very, very, very quickly. So this team can kill stuff. It's just not going to kill a lot of stuff on average.
I think a lot of people overall in the game get hung up on like big killing models like Titans and mid-range models designed to like chunk things down.
Right? It's fun to roll dice and kill stuff.
But people forget that Chaff put in work and chip damage. Like I think, my Steel Helm, like, like you said, like crit hit, 4 damage, crit hit, 4 damage, hit, 2 damage. Like it adds up and it just exists to whittle it down to make it for
Mike's
your
eggs too, by the way. Same thing that chip
I was
damage.
Gonna say, Rob,
chip damage.
Yeah, Cities of Sigmar and Krulboys, right? They're both just like, oh, Rob, you got that counter that's always cranking out 2 on misses. I got just move, here's your 2 damage, just add those tokens.
Right,
Every
and it's
piece of
just
damage matters. Every piece.
right. Everything matters. Nothing is insignificant. Unless like you're putting into like 42 wounds with like a 1-3 profile, then you might be a little stuck there. But listen, we're running 10 out of time, boys. I want to go through the missions right now. We each see what it took to all of us to put together our lists and how we really carefully crafted it, and I think that was really awesome. Instead of going through and showing the lists, if anybody else out there wants to go and take a really good hard look at the list, Salty Sea really dissected it better than what we could, because we're not we're not that intelligent for that. So I mean, like, no, he really did a great job of dissecting the missions and breaking it down. So instead, I wanted to go over real quick. Supremacy is a mission with 6 objectives, and it's something that makes me internally sweat because I have nightmares from Rumble Pack.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
my God.
Felt great
So-
to me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I was surprised. Actually, I take that back.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So real quick, we're gonna go through like a round table style. It's gonna be me, Peter. Like we'll just go through all together each round. We're gonna keep it short and concise for the viewers so they can kind of get a sense of how we played or like takeaways from it. My first opponent unfortunately left his warband behind. Had to quickly put together a 1 box of something the morning of. Which was cool because I left all my dice and measurement tools behind, so I just shared
And your
his.
jacket and your Red Bull.
You can't bring him
they're
anywhere.
perfect for each
Can't bring
other.
him anywhere.
I need a chaperone, and this dude was a guy from Goonhammer. He's like an artist that paints for him. I don't know if we could bring up his name real fast. He was a really, really, really. I think his name was Craig. He was a really stellar guy. He handled that with grace because he played something he never played before. And I think this goes to playing some of your best Warcry. Sometimes it's not about getting that W, but it's about giving that experience of like, hey, I'm so sorry you're going through that right now. Let's work together and let me tell you what I can do, what you're going to do, and offer you some advice. Because I know at the end of the day, it's a tournament. I did show up to compete and win, but this guy just had something that was like, his potential whole. He spent all this time painting,
Get them reps.
he
Get
just
them
showed
reps.
up with
First tournament, it showed up with a warband, right? Right out of the box. Lost horribly, but guess what? I showed up.
I mean,
That's like
so-
90% of it.
So that was that. So I didn't have too much. All I can tell you is the horse getting a free pull and then double capping, and then like being able to immediately shoot up to be like 6-2 on supremacy and then hold that every round was pretty backbreaking. Horse was just so phenomenal. Speed is so good on something that's tanky and big like that. So that was my experience. Pete, yours?
So go figure. My first game of the day was objective game against Soulblight Gravelords. So that was a great way to start the day.
He doesn't get easy.
So
he gets no easy draws. He's got to fight in tooth and claw to the top.
got to get in there. But I was playing against my opponent Tim, who is fantastic. It was also his first Warcry tournament, but
Shout out to
played
Tim.
like an absolute
Awesome.
champ. Yeah. But so it really, my big goal of the game was I got 8 models, so I got to outkill him early because playing 6 objectives against Skellies is never a good thing to last in a long-term match. So just got in there, murdered a lot of models as early as possible, and then was able to kind of maintain that activation advantage. And that was kind of the big thing for me. But you got to play hyper aggressive in those situations early, otherwise you're going to fall behind against a bigger swarm list. But it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, he played really well, and I think he ended up placing better than I did by the end of the tournament. So he performed very well the rest of the day.
I think he was 9th and you were 10th. He got you by
Well,
one.
and to his credit, right, last round, 4th round, he got that 4th model, and that changed it from a major win, major loss to a minor, and
probably,
that well done on his part. But
Every bit
it
counts.
Really does. It really
Michael,
does. So,
Michael, what did? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, go ahead, Michael.
No. I didn't cut you off, Peter.
Absurdly, I think.
Yeah,
I think I had rough matchups, honestly, in every single one. Every round, I felt like I walked up and I went, the first one, I'm gonna know if Justin Smith is listening to this because I played against some bone splitters. I played the Savage Auric lads, and it was such a rough game. The guy was awesome. His name is Alex. He's one of the guys from Utah. I was stoked that they came out. I've heard so much about him online. They're not in any of like the circles that we kind of run in on Discord and stuff like that. So it was super cool. Get to meet these folks that I know are good at Warcry, but we just never get to interact. And so it was a great opportunity to get to play against Alex. But man, I was not excited. He had oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't know why it wasn't Alex. It was Brad. My bad.
Yeah. Oh, dude, dude.
Sorry. It's my voice. It sounded like, no, yeah. Sorry, Brad. Shout out, Brad. Not Alex. Forget Alex. I don't know why.
All my homies hate Alex. I don't know who Alex is.
Did you say Alex Pete? How did that get in my head? I'm looking at his name in his list right now. But he had 2 of the big spears and he had 2 of the boars. And my list dies when you swing at it, and getting to charge and then double attack is real bad for me. So even though I was definitely, he only had 7 models. I was in an advantage looking at like the mission overall, I would say, right? Normally on numbers, that's a really bad matchup for me warband wise. And so I had to play, we tied the first 3 rounds and I barely scraped it out in the 4th round. After a rampage in the 3rd round, I was able to cap a couple of objectives that he couldn't. But yeah, he like netted me with his boggle eye and stuff like that. But yeah, lots of waiting with the eggs, and then just playing really cagey. And then the thing with my list was, and I learned it in this game, I think the most robustly, was like when it's time to strike, go all in. And luckily I managed to, delay, and then smash and managed to scrape out a victory against Brad. Thanks for the game, Brad.
Thanks, Alex.
Your first round.
So I was up against Joe Alexander, awesome guy. Had some drinks with him later and just kept chatting with him the whole weekend. So absolute pleasure hanging out with him. Just even
right.
during and after the tournament.
He was my roommate all weekend. I got sick of him.
And he brought Iron Golems with a Foamroid Crusher. And I'm going to this first mission. I'm thinking like, there's a supremacy. There's 6 objectives. I got 11 model warband. He's got like an 8 model warband. I'm like, I've got this, no problem, right? I've put my Vampire Lord down, my 3 zombies. He puts a Foamroid Crusher down in his Iron Golem. So I'm like, all right, he'd have to double move to get to me anyway. Like, unlike he's going to kill me, I could probably cap 3 objectives and contest him against on 1, right? Because I would just move the zombie to the right, move the zombie to the left, after waiting, of course, to use up his
zombie
actions.
shuffle.
This is Wade Simulator, right?
This is going to be your match every match. And then I waited, then I unfeeling fleshed, then I moved.
Then I waited, yeah. Wait Simulator. And so it's like, all right, then I'll wait till where he goes. I'll move my zombie there, Vampire Lord to fly somewhere else. It'll be at least like 3-2, start off that 6-2, right? So he places his models down, Foamroid Crusher. We roll for initiative. He's like, quad 6. And I'm like, oh no. His Foamroid is 2 moves away. This isn't going to end well, right? So I quickly make a triple, and I was like, all right, at worst, he's going to kill a zombie, right? He can only really get like 1, maybe 2 attacks off. I can get my guys out of there, fly out, res, I'll be fine, right? So it starts off, he moves, I move, he moves, I move. He rushes his Foamroid in there, and I thought he was going to go for my zombie. He goes straight for my Vampire Lord, and I was like, wait a minute. I didn't prepare for this.
He's smiling at you the whole time, too. He's like, yeah, I'm going to kill.
Swings once, deals like 12 damage, I think it was. And I was just sitting there like, oh, crap. I might just lose my Vampire Lord turn 1. So second turn, I Unfeeling Flesh. He swings again. I was very, very lucky. He didn't get any crits. Disengage and actually use that triple as a 666 to heal myself back up to 14. And I was not thinking I was going to use that. Of course, my zombies are on 1, 2, and 3. So I had 3. He had 2. So it was like the 6-2 lead. Got initiative the next turn, just flew my Vampire Lord to safety, and unfortunately that just kind of isolated his Foamroid Crusher. Got the Cardinal in there, stripping actions, just kind of blocking, and just the sheer number of bodies, he couldn't keep catch back up, right? Wasn't able to eliminate enough models of that Foamroid, so rest of the game just kind of played out like that. Just sitting there, using the waiting action, disengaging, Unfeeling Flesh, and just, yeah, I think I killed 2 models maybe for 150 points. That was it. Like that wasn't the point, right? The objective was hold objectives, and that's exactly what I did. So
just playing to, and it's just a good reminder to a lot of people out there listening again. Sometimes big scary things are big and scary, but if you isolate them, or if they fall into a trap, they put themselves in a bad position, or they fail to kill, they're not that big and scary anymore. They're just over there in a waste of points. So don't
Yep.
sweat it. Nice. Round two, we're gonna go real quick into it again. It says it's a bloodshed, which was Krister was the one who made the mission,
Krister.
right?
Yeah, Krister made
Krister,
that one up.
Cool.
with
Mission.
he has the Meg Ryan icon in
No, it's not. It's Titus from Final Fantasy X,
Oh,
because that's what he
it's
looks like.
100% Meg
Identical.
Ryan. Then,
Yeah. He's a big fan of
big-
Final
he's
Fantasy X and
Sleepless
Meg
in
Ryan fan.
Sleepless in Seattle was a great movie. I don't even want to hear about it. Listen,
All right, we're
nah,
here for
it's
Warcry.
Titus, and he's amazing, and he designed this really great mission, which is just Reaper, and then the secondary is like 5 inches from the center. Whoever has more bodies in it gets a VP, so it's a really cool way to go about it. And pretty much what happened here is I got paired against the Salt Daddy himself after we switched over to War Tally, and we
Not-
got
Real
repaired.
Salt Daddy, not TheSaltySea. Chris.
No,
Salt
not
Daddy.
TheSaltySea. No, Chris Hyde is the Salt Daddy of the century. My man injecting sodium into his veins.
Again, happy birthday, Chris.
Happy
Shout out
birthday, Chris!
Birthday
26 years
today.
old, baby. Let's
What
go.
day is it
I heard
today? It's his birthday.
it's his birthday today. It might be tomorrow as well.
It's definitely tomorrow.
Time of release, it's tomorrow. And then 26 turned 27. Beautiful young man. And he ran 2 heart eaters and a FOMO. And I pride COS on being really resilient against a lot of stuff because of our reaction and being able to just like, I'll go up to T5, then I'll counter you. And then that's it. Well, when the heart eater moves 6 and then swings 5 dice hitting on 4s, it's kind of really tough to get by.
Cool. This is fun.
Right. Yeah, dude. The guy, they were just hacking. I think I still got first round or second round. I think I still got it. He killed like a bunch of steel helms, but then flag pulling, I think it was 2, 4, 4 other things.
It's so
Free-
good. When that flag goes off, you're like,
It was-
you just push your models forward.
Yeah, I felt like I was like just but like the thing is I'm not just pushing forward, so it was off the side and off the back, so I just put him in the corner, so he just goes move. Oh, or in 6, everybody comes down. Oh, the horse goes 9. That's really cool. And then the horse galloped another 9 and then killed a heart eater. And then I was like, okay, cool. I got 200 points. And I was like, sick.
Good.
And Domitan the whole time is on top of like a building, just chip shotting people and forced the plains runner. It really came down to the crux of he ran his FOMO so far out to the side. One turn the FOMO did nothing. Turned because I kept everybody to the corner, knowing its threat range of being the 7 inches or 8 if he's rushing. I'm sorry, 6 inches or 7 if he's rushing. So then he goes over terrain, takes damage.
5 inches normally 6 inches if he's
Yeah. So 6 and then 7 with the rush, right? Sorry.
Nope.
I'm thinking of the Blood Marshal. Yep, well, my bad. And then he runs over D6 terrain like a man, because that's what men do. And
Legend.
yeah, I mean, when you got 35 wounds, 5 off the top.
When your body's 40% salt, you don't care what happens.
Yeah. When you liquidize mozzarella to just drink it, you're pretty much a saint. Can't say anything bad. So pretty much, my dude runs over. He cleans off the herald right away. He noticed that's an issue when everybody's getting free moves to the center. He cleans off the herald and like one roll just rolls like 16. I'm like, okay, guy's dead. And then that's when I did the steel helm, crits him twice, 6 damage, drops him down. I countered something, and then we just removed it. We just rune daddied, and then we removed it, took the round out of nowhere, and just capitalized. And that's it.
Mhm.
Peter.
So I played against Martin in his Sylvanet list in this one, and the big thing with my list that played really well into Bloodshed is it's deceptively fast. And really what it came down to is my list just piled in on the center really early in the game, and it forced Martin into a really tough situation where he had to come to me. And I could just kind of eliminate models as he tried to get on point, and it created a really tough spot for him. And he played really well. He netted me a couple times there really early in the game that was kind of getting me sweaty a little bit, going like, ooh, that's a problem. But yeah, I got on the center really early in the game, and that just made a really big difference as far as being able to score on points. So it was quick, went really quick. It was a concise game. He played really well. Just the matchup was in my favor in that round, and just getting those early kills made a big difference as far as
you
points.
get the position and the matchup, and it's like, all right, how am I supposed? I just got to crit out. That's that's the only way to get out of those situations. Is okay, magic dice. Here we go. Go fish some good ones out of the toilet.
Where are we going from our showing up here? Who did you play against, Mike? That you couldn't believe you won?
I played against Alex round 2. Guy named Alex.
Are we sure? Are we sure about this time?
No, I played Nick. He was on ogres, and it was, I think he had 4 ogres. He had a big old bolt blaster. He had 2 like the gluttons with clubs, and then a tyrant. Yeah, that sounds right.
Blaster.
I love model tyrant. But tell you what, wasn't a fan of it. Coming at me, zooming across the board. But this was the game where I managed to round 1. I had this is the only the shield is on during round 1, and I had my harpoon, and that was the whole reason I put it in there. I said I might get lucky, and I did rip it out, got the double damage, and just picked off the Noblar, and then was able to just kind of dance around the edges and. Yeah, got a couple of good ogre kills, and it was so close. Almost got the major win on it. It's hard to get in close and personal with ogres to get a major win, but he got initiative and inspiring presence. Ever since I made the inspiring presence video with Eric, it's only ever been used against me to my detriment. I'm really mad about it, but I was like, sweet, I think I can basically just run everything away. Inspiring presence killed 2 of my guys. I was like, well, there's the major win gone out the window. So it was an excellent play. He was a super fun guy, really awesome opponent.
Nice.
Had a blast with him. So, and yeah, I didn't realize until after. I was like, man, he came 8th, like I think overall, like a really, really good showing at tournament. So yeah, and he was a good player. He knew what he was doing. So fun round.
Yeah, I went up against Jose Santana. It was actually local to our tournaments, playing Lumineth Realm Lords. And the one thing I have to say, Jose, if you're watching this, how you played back in January, we were hosting the first tournament till now, it's like night and day difference.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude.
Absolutely incredibly as a player. Just getting those reps in, still playing Lumineth through and through, and I absolutely love him for it. But I was nervous going this round. We were both Horde, right? He had 11, I had 11. Unfortunately, just waited a whole bunch of times. Moved in the middle. Crackling arcs. I have 4 models. He had 3, then he had 2.
There it
so
is, right.
3-0, and yeah, that was kind of the game because essentially I just had better abilities, right? Like better abilities, better damage. He'd kill a model, I would res, just going back and forth. He did manage to kill my Vampire Lord almost in 1 turn, just with like 70 crits again. I was like, okay, cool, this thing's dead. But at that point, it was too late, right? Just too many models. Too much damage, too many abilities.
Not enough weights.
All she wrote.
Not enough weights. He went off the back of weights. Listen.
Well, round four, I did sprint away from the middle because it was 9-0 at that point. I'm like, yeah,
that was my plan too. I was like, I got this no matter what. I'm just gonna run away. And then
I had to do it because he had killed 5 models at that point, and I couldn't afford him killing my 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to sprint away from the middle to preserve the major victory. So, all right, round 3, Rob, go.
Smart.
I don't even know what round 3 was. Round 3 was Might Makes. Oh yeah, that was Peter. Another. This is a 2-for-1 here, Peter. You and I on this one. Pretty much, it was just we know how each other play, and it's just everything is a big analyzation of just dice. He has a. I have a quad round 1, and
real quick, this is just the mission was you're picking opponents' fighters to be the kill.
Yeah,
you score based on when you get those kills. The biggest things were 3 points on the board, and then leaders are worth 2.
Right, and this wasn't our redux of it where we did everything was worth 1, and then 2 if marked, 3 leader for the biggest. So you really had to pick very carefully. It's a very low scoring game, and Peter and I just went back tit for tat, and I realized when. I should have just I played too cagey in position, too cute with the horse. So I kind of went out, and then I saw Peter was just going in to swarm my dudes coming on, which is Domiton and a dog. I should have just swarmed his, and I kind of didn't. I ended up just I did it when I should have tatted. You know, I French fried when I was supposed to pizza. I had a real bad time. Peter played a masterful game, and it's just an amazing time going to a tournament playing Peter. I'm very like privileged with that. Like I love that. But honestly and sincerely, you okay? I didn't know if
No,
you
I was
stopped.
just well, I was gonna not to. I appreciate everything you're saying here, Rob. But it was interesting at the beginning of the game because I
He
was
goes,
really
"I
sweating,
hated it.
especially
I
when
hate
you
playing."
quadded right off. Oh,
Yeah, I
I
quad
love
every
it. I
round
love
actually.
it.
I
But he
quadded every
quadded.
round. That was
It was ridiculous.
We
So
know that's
I
your
had to
fault,
make a
though, Peter.
decision
You give
super
Rob
early
quads at
on.
tournaments.
yeah, it's true. If you're there, I quad.
Oh, of course,
Uh-oh, you're
but
back.
I
You're
had to
good,
make
you're
a
good, you're
decision
good, you're
super early on. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But I had to decide really early. Like, I had to dive down in the corner because that was the
Yeah.
only chance I had of getting anywhere in the game because you had the mobility on me, and getting that quad right off the bat just gave you a ton of momentum. And it just I had to dive down, and it was a bit of a gamble play, to be perfectly honest, because right off the bat I'm like, ooh, this is bad. How do I salvage this in any way? And it was interesting because it was close down to the very last round there, and then you seizing initiative round 4 and going like, yeah, I'm gonna mark the little Prognetta that I'm in combat with. Swing,
3
swing.
points.
Okay, now we're tying. You're right. It's like I'll take that
Oh,
free
that's
point.
right.
Absolutely. And
I couldn't tell the difference between Prague and the other Netta. And so like I put 6 damage on it and I'm like, it's dead. And you're like, no, it's got a couple more. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then you climbed it up.
Classic Prague.
You
Full
climbed
on Prague move.
you climbed him up a bell tower, and this dude proceeded to pass 5 or 6 fall checks and survive 5 throws.
actions.
It's Prague,
Survive.
dude. You can talk trash about Prague. This is what
Well,
happens.
no,
to
that
you.
was the regular Netta.
Oh, that was
The
was it?
regular Netta is the one that climbed
Oh, no,
up the bell
Prague.
tower.
He
Prague died
channeled
to
Prague.
Prague died to a Domiton quad where he just rampaged and staffed him to death.
That happens too.
Yeah.
Marked him in
Yeah,
the last
yeah,
round.
yeah.
And took that.
Yeah.
So pretty
Yeah.
much,
How do
Peter.
how do you get a quad and win initiative?
You beat me. So but all my quads were quad 1s. If they were better, I would have played so much more aggressive,
Yeah,
run
for
you
sure,
up and burn
dude.
them out.
Brutal having
Darn those
quads every
quads.
round.
Darn those quads.
Listen, I didn't even get a gracious. I was like, I was really concerned about you.
Didn't earn one.
I didn't. But he climbed up and he survived throws. It ended up being like 3-2. I think every game that Peter and I have played against each other, including Nova, has been decided by 1 point. It's never been a like landslide, and it was a really good match, and it's set. But I recognize I might not have the win, so I just killed his shit. And I just gave him the minor, so I pretty much screwed him out of that. And then Frog leaped him in the standings. That's how you got to do it.
Frog leap, love it.
Yep. Well, what's hilarious is I once again forgot that flame seekers can throw axes. You think I would learn this lesson at some point?
You forgot against.
I went shooting up that bell tower, going like, "This horse ain't catching me, buddy!
Oh, the
Get
best
away
was
from this horse!" And all of a sudden, his Runefather's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hook axes."
The best was I was measuring it. He's like, that's not how you measure. You measure straight and then up. I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm throwing an axe. And he's like, he just gave me this face. He's like, I forgot again.
Oh,
I'm like, dude,
whoops.
It doesn't matter. That dude dodged everything. Like,
incredible.
You used cover. I rolled the crit, and then like you reduced the crit to 1. So like it saved it. Yeah. So like it came down to that one dude.
That reaction never matters until it matters, and then it matters.
It came down to that one dude, and that was it. And otherwise it would have been a draw, and we would have both been up in standings. But you guys go. We're both done. Peter, excellent as always, though.
Thanks, Rob, for the recap. Peter, I heard you played that game, so congratulations. Mike, you're up.
Are you gonna tell us about how you fucking waited for 30 minutes again? Oh, cool. I can't wait. We're gonna go.
All right, so my my 3rd round game was against Alex, and it was a good night. I played against Fred Shred from the Dayton Warcry Club. Stoked to have him out there. He missed it last year, so I was really pumped that he was coming out, and we knew he was bringing heat, and we knew one of us would probably end up facing him at some point. So I drew the Fred straw, and I was terrified. Showed up. on the mission, and I knew, oh, the biggest thing on the board is going to be worth the most points. You know, it's the biggest thing on the board is the big Nurgle fly that heals double the value of the dice on the double. So I was like, this is going to be rough. But that was the game when I targeted one of his little. He was playing Demons and Nurgle. I picked one of his little guys to try to pick off for the point in round one, and then I Brugated on the monkey, hoping I could shoot over and swing on him. And that's when he said, "Oh, Brugat's a problem. Charge the big fly into me." And then that was the point where I went, you know what? I'm actually in a really good position here to just go absolutely wild. So that's. I think that game was one of the biggest reinforcers of remembering. Don't just stick to your original plan. Really think about the board state. Look at what's happening and adapt and change to it. And it literally won me the game. But it was a great game. That was the game I was playing right next to Rob and Peter, and I was like, Fred and I had a blast. He picked the Raphael Eggrot, and that was his favorite. He was like, I got to kill my favorite Ninja Turtle. I was like, I'm going to make it hurt then. And I kept making him giving him characters and all that stuff, throwing out the pizzas everywhere. So yeah, he kept getting mad because he was like, stop doing 2 damage to me. So, but yeah, thanks for the game, Fred. I had a blast, man. Kyle, what'd you get into?
So I went up against another Soulblight player, Austin Lewis, one of the best players out of Utah. And he brought a very unique list. He had 2 Black Knights, and going into it, I wasn't sure really what to expect in this case. I kind of thought it was going to end up like, oh, I pick a zombie, he picks a zombie, and we're going to end up in this like weird draw, right? He quickly proved me wrong when he's like, yeah, I'm going to pick your Vampire Lord. And I was just sitting there like, whoa. And he had picked it because I was actually able to escape with one of my zombies, built a wall of Elmorn boys around it so he couldn't get to the zombie. Picks my Vampire Lord. He jumps off a building. He rampages, hits 7 out of 8 crits with Elmorn, and I just instantly died. And I was just sitting there like, wow, this game's tied again. Go into the last round, and I was able to escape with one of the Marrow Scroll Herald, who he had marked. And then he tied the game by charging the zombie with the Black Knight ability, where you do damage on the end of a move with a triple, killing it, tying the game. It was it was a chess match all the way through. Just
awesome.
Absolute slaughter.
You expect that out of 2 good Soulblight players with 2 different but really good lists, right? Like that's what that game always had to be.
I will say, like, you look at Soulblight, everyone thinks like, oh, res. And talked to him after the game, he's like, yeah, Soulblight's got more than res. Graveguard, with the change, don't res very well anyway, value the dice. And you could still do it, but he said, I'm going to utilize these horses, use that triple for damage instead, and just focus on a pure damage Soulblight list, and it really, really works.
That's
Especially
awesome.
with those knights being 4 toughness, 20 wounds, 9 move. They're a lot tankier and a lot faster than you're taking credit for, and I underestimate him, honestly, and he sold me. I'm a believer. I definitely want to try them out in some of my games.
He was, and he, cool. So he was one of the other Utah guys, along with Brad and Alex. It turns out, but yeah, he was another one. He's the one that I think like wins a ton of tournaments out there and stuff like that. So he was another guy that was just cool to get to talk Warcry with, right? Getting people that really know and care and understand the game. Always just a great time doing that. And Kyle learned something new.
Yeah, I learned there's more than just the weight action.
Yeah, he forgot it immediately, but he did know for just a split second.
Right. All right, Rob finishes off round 4. How'd it go?
Ley lines against Iron Jaws with 2 brutes. So I thought I was gonna get I put him in a bad spot where I pretty much set up to where Domitan ran 12 inches and just took points without caring about you or caring about you messings. He put a lot of dice into charges. Dude was Cole. Great dude, very wholesome new player, was just bashing. He actually killed my horse. He killed my rune father, and he killed a whole bunch. And they killed like I think another steel helm. But I pretty much was just be able to play cagey, disengage, and go away, and just kind of take and hold points without having to worry about fighting because I can't win the brawl game against him. I killed 2 Ard boys. That was it. I felt bad for him because the dude, I've been where he's been, and he rolled up. He wasted a potion on the mega boss, couldn't turn the corner because he had a bad deployment behind terrain, and the mega boss is on like size 100 millimeter chimera.
It's so absurd.
Monster.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that base to be that big.
It's great. It's great if you like dioramas, though. It's great.
Yeah, you can put a lot of bodies on there. So then he
fit 3 more mega bosses on it.
he was going to charge and kill my Rune Father a turn earlier, and that would have snowballed the game. So I just put the lowly Steel Helm in front of him. Instead, he goes to the Steel Helm, he charges, and I'm like, see you later, Steel Helm, Mega Boss. And he rolled 4, and then he rolled 4 again, and my Steel Helm lived at 2. Then he swung with a Brugit, and the Brugit missed everything. And I felt so bad. He looked at me, told me he was tilted. I've been there before when we played, and I missed 5 out of 7 dice on a 3-up. I was just like, okay, this is a
sometimes
horrible
you get
feeling.
7 crits and kill a vampire lord. Sometimes
you know
your Mega
what?
Boss fails to kill some chaff.
Yeah.
It happens. It's Warcry, right?
Nice game. You gotta be ready for it.
But
It doesn't
to be
mean
fair,
it doesn't suck though.
To be fair, I positioned myself very well to avoid that because I know how to play Iron Jaws. But he was a great opponent. He was very aggressive. Even when he said he's tilted, he was still a gentleman, shook hands. He was still really cool. We shot the shit after. He was a good dude. And shout out to Cole for sticking through that and really getting over the Mega Boss. Because that has done the same thing to me. I've been in that same mind state before. But he was a really good player and a really good guy. I hope to see him at more tournaments.
Yeah, that kind of
Leylines also sucks. Leylines is the worst. The worst because no, dude, because I just lose initiative and I get to dictate the game.
It's fair.
Yeah, but calling out that sportsmanship I think matters a lot, right? Because that's the kind of players we want Warcry. That's the kind of players I want to play and talk about. So
for sure.
props to you, man. Props to you.
Yeah, Cole's a good dude. To come back from that, and he absolutely butchered the horse, dude. The horse and the Rune Father. I was like, well, I guess I didn't realize. totally forgot brutes were 3/6 damage profile, and he just
was horse soup for real. Got made into chunks and got thrown out of the started stirring it up for you.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, it was
tough. Your legs, huh?
Yeah, dude. I mean, but Domiton being able to run 12 and just be like, hee, and then shoot through windows and then run back and then run and tie up so they couldn't chase my Steel Helm. Those the Steel Helms were heroes of the day. I was like, okay. Well, yeah, I'm done. Peter.
What about you, Pete?
Well, this is a me and Mike story, and it's more about a Mike story because I just got murdered.
I didn't. Did we play that round? I thought I played Alex round 4.
Yeah, it was Alex. It
was maybe it was just a bad nightmare for me. Yeah, that's what it was.
It was rough, man. We didn't play that game. I hit 5 straight reactions with my Brugits. With my Eggrots. And then that was Pete. I'll let you tell. You want to talk about the Crusher? What happened in that first round?
Yeah. So it turns out I find out that my whippy sticks are 2 millimeters off on the very first piece there. So I moved my Crusher towards center to kind of set up an early second round to start getting aggressive with them, and I just happened to position myself where Mike's quad Beast Knob could just barely get into contact with them.
By that difference in the stick,
just barely. And
I felt Pete, I feel like you and I looked at, I was like, Pete, we're friends. Do you want that move? And you were like, let's roll for it. And I said, right, okay. And of course, Peter's round 4 luck in any big tournament goes out the window. So of course I win the roll off. And then zoom the Beast Knob in there, double swing, left him on 8 wounds or something like that. And then one initiative turn 2 and it was gone. And it was just and then it could have just ended there. It could have been oh, okay, Mike got one really good turn and Peter can outplay it. No. I rolled the 9 on the rip it out or on the saw him up versus his bounder boss and then left that guy on 4. And then when it finally moved to attack, I killed it on a reaction on the 5-up. It was pure slaughter. I mean, I almost tabled Pete, and the only thing that didn't was the Ardboy boss that was in the corner that tried to the Ardboy boss was coming in to try to kill an egg, climbed up, and I netted him in the middle of the climb. So he just fell back down on the charge. So it was truly, again, it was a non-game in my opinion.
Absolutely brutal. Yeah.
It was.
I mean, and that's not to take away, Mike played brilliantly.
And you almost came back. You kept me on my toes, even though I had a huge advantage. I could not take the foot off the gas either. You were just constantly pressuring every spot that you had left, and I was like, "Oh, I thought you were dead."
Right. Well, I've realized really quick I had to play hyper aggressive, or it wasn't going to happen, and turns out it just didn't happen because
I just
the
kept
models,
rolling.
the
rolling.
models just kept getting removed, and
Still, it's
sometimes that's just the game. That's how it goes.
it's a rough
but
day, Pete, too. Like when you have to play 2 of your teammates like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Nearly
dude, it
back to
sucks.
back. It's like a little tilting. Like we come out here because and one thing is we talk about like playing your best Warcry. We do this because we want good opponents. We want to have fun
Exactly.
games.
Yeah.
I love playing Rob and Pete and Mike, but sometimes I want to play some other people, right? Like so.
I like to make new friends.
right.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Like rough when you go to that tournament and you're stuck playing your friends. It's like
Oh man, I didn't even
that
think about
being
that.
said-
Half the tournament you played against your friends.
Well, it's funny because I kept saying, it's like talking to guys, like we pretty much just tripped over each other. That's pretty much how the tournament day went. Because I mean, not to like harp on it too much, but 13 wins, 2 losses, and a draw, and the 2 losses were to each other. It's just
Right.
very overall optimistic. Yeah, I wasn't happy with my placement, but I mean, hey, that's how it happens sometimes, right?
3-1 is still nothing to scoff at. Like you and I were talking about that. Like I was like, man, 7th, and you were what was it, like 10th?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm like, oh, how did we? But like top 10 out of 40 in a big tournament, and the only people we lost to is like our buds in our team. Like we have to take that with a silver lining right there. Like that's like I'd rather lose to you guys than Alex. So.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta watch Alex.
I don't know. I don't like losing to Rob at all. So
Fair. Yeah.
But
it's okay. None of us had to do that. We stayed safe. Marked safe from losing to Rob today.
You prayed for it. The rosary counting. Like.
Needless to say, though, right? I haven't lost a game that hard in a while, and I'm glad it was Mike because it was well earned on his part. So I mean,
I just rolled real well. I feel like I'll pat myself on the back for having steady wrists that day.
That's right. Get it in there. But that was a solid win on his part, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, thanks for the game, Pete. You're good. You're a good sport. We had a lot of hugs at the end of that game. It was.
I needed a hug after that game. I'll be honest.
Peter and I hugged too after ours.
You got this guy dressed as a Ninja Turtle apologizing to you for kicking your ass super hard.
There's nothing better when your opponent starts apologizing for his dice.
In a kid's outfit, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's just like a size 2
green
small.
onesie.
So put my shell on my back. It's like the Velcro screaming to come
and
off.
I've got my eyes like this. You can't even see me. I'm just doing this. All right, Kyle, what was your round 4?
So my round 4 was versus James on Nurgle Demons. He had a Varangard. I'm going to call it Lord of the Flies. I know it's Lord of Affliction, but Lord of the Flies sounds better in my head.
Biggie with the conch.
My Asmar.
And a model account, like, once again, really came into play here, right? Like, all the points ended up getting activated. This is where I said earlier, Meryl Scroll Herald came into play, removed abilities from the fly, killed the Varangard on turn 4, and Winley has those 2 damage breezes, and that's about it. I was able to just kind of stay away from his demons, which were kind of slow moving. I only moved 3. Just keep away, stay away, jump back and forth between points using Shambling Horde, which actually came into play a lot because I kind of sat my Vampire Lord in the middle. His Nurgle demons would run to the one side. I'd be like, see you later, go back to the other side and steal the objective, or fly my Vampire Lord somewhere, resurrect somebody. It was just an uphill battle for him from that point, right? It's if you'll just like a little bit more lethal on the Varangard and a little bit more lethal on the Lord of Flies, probably would have taken it from me, but they just didn't roll that hot. Plus, just he couldn't make them roll hot because didn't have abilities, or each turn he had a chance of dying. So it was more just about positioning, playing that defensive game, and this is Rob's favorite, using the wait action and just saying, "Yep, you can go." You can go. You can go. Unfeeling flesh. You can go. We gonna attack anybody? No, I don't need to do that. No. So
interactive Warcry.
Yeah. So that was the mission.
All right, boys. That was a doozy. We wanted to get this done in an hour and a half. We're at 2 hours and 11.
Well, we should have known ourselves better.
I was going to say, there's no way we're hitting an hour 30.
If you guys stuck it out this far, the listeners, we really appreciate it. We are here simply because we love this game and we love this community, and we just want to serve it to make everything great for everybody. So again, please like, subscribe, smash the like button. Kyle and I are going to be having some more basic blasters so we can blast that knowledge in your mouth and head, and we're going to be getting some.
weekend, right? We should be done
Yeah,
with it.
we should be able to get more of that. We're gonna have
Coming
some
soon.
cool bespoke. We're gonna get Mike in there. We're gonna get some Peter stop by, guest spot in there. Just stay on the lookout for more of our stuff. Should be seeing it shortly. Again, I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better turnout, and we couldn't have asked for a better tournament of players.
Mhm.
No
yeah.
problems. All sportsmanship. Everybody was super duper cool. I think that's like the biggest walkaway is like we walked away from a tournament enjoying it, smiles ear to ear. And I mean, like, how many I've walked away from Magic Gathering tournaments ready to torch my car, you know? Like, it's a good community, and we just got to keep growing. Come see us on Discord. Just look for any of the 3H1C people. We don't know who Alex is. If you've seen Alex, please let him know that we love him and he's safe.
There was a real Alex. Peter legit. I looked again. Peter, you actually played Alex, right?
No.
Well, there was an Alex in the tournament. I double checked. Alex, he was on Solve Like Greg.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna find this guy. Where is he?
There is an Alex in there.
Come see us in the comments, bro. Thanks
Alex,
for all the games.
Jesus. All right, guys.
It's late. All for joining
Good
us.
night. Signing off. Rob, call me old
Peter.
Girth Demon.
The Saint 16.
I'm Mike. I'm more enthusiast 7.
Look out for number 1 through 6, by the way, for those
They're coming.
enthusiasts.
They're coming.
Yeah,
And,
they exist like Alex.
yeah. And I'm Kyle. Great White Nope.
Later, guys.
Have a good night.
Bye.